Guys, what is going on? Here we are, guys. Here we are. Guys, I hope your weekend's been good, right? Well, let me drop the link. Guys, anyone who wants to come up early, guys, go to the Discord, right? I'm gonna drop the link in the Discord for anyone who wants to come on up. Guys, don't be shy. And guys, we'll do the first 25-35 minutes for people in the Discord. So guys, make sure to do that. Here we go. Let's see, guys. Someone had put something in the Discord about the minimum wage. Hold on, let's see. Let's go to Instagram fast. A couple things I want to show you guys. First, one second, guys. Okay, Michael, what's up, dude? Red Door's here. What's going on, my friend? Daniel's here. Steve is here. Steve, what's going on, my friend? Good to see you as usual.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Let's see. Tim Hicks, what's up, man? Tom's wonderful. Josh, what's going on, guys? Yeah. So someone had put something about the minimum wage, right? And guys, do you guys know? Colin's here. Colin, do you know who was hurt by them establishing a minimum wage the most?
Women, and especially, well, maybe not black women, but
no, it was black people, poor whites, and women.
Yeah.
Because guys, they would have these jobs, right? They were like low skill, like low, I don't want to say low income, but decent income entry jobs you can get into to build work experience. It was kind of like you know how like young kids can have a paper route, and they don't make minimum wage. You know what I'm saying? It's like a certain classification of a job.
Yeah.
They had those jobs that would help like teenagers and young adults and stuff get into working. You know what I mean? And a lot of black people, especially in like California, Oregon, Vegas, Detroit, they had these jobs that they could work that were service industry jobs and then get into to become other things. Well, you are a warehouse manager. Maybe you were some type of I don't know, someone who would run notes from one place to the other. You know what I'm saying? Like it gives people a lower entry into the workforce.
Yeah.
And also allowed for there to be more jobs too. You know what I'm saying? So there's a Thomas Sowell, the saint, the man among men, right? Did a whole book on this about how having a federal minimum wage decimated jobs for because remember in the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, the early 50s, there was no middle class. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There was the working class stiffs. There was like the lower poverty, low class, and the working class, and then there was the upper class and the rich. But it gave people a way, like a pathway out of poverty, so you can have some income coming in and some type of experience. Yeah, Josh, I agree. No minimum wage. Here's the thing, guys. You don't like it, start your own business. Or go to work for a place that has a higher wage, or get a trade. You know who aren't worried about the minimum wage? Mechanics, engineers.
Yeah, roofers, plumbers,
doctors, lawyers. You know what I'm saying? Anyone that has a skill, a trade, an education that's worth a damn. Mike, what's up, dude? Mike, sure. How's it going? Christopher's here. Clayton's here. Yeah, but guys, it's the dumbest thing ever. I'm to the point now where I don't even like how they say that you can stop a business from not serving a person based on X. Guys, if I'm a restaurant, I don't serve a certain type of person, and it gets out, that if that's bad for my business, the market's gonna correct. You know what I'm saying? That's how it works. So, but let me see here. Old school, what's up, dude? Steve is here. Richard Brown, Lenny, what's up, man? But yeah, so I was saying, guys, there was like all types of jobs that have been either phased out or automated because of minimum wage. Someone had put in the Discord that there was some cafe where they were like, yeah, we're gonna be we're gonna do like a union and go on strike or whatever. It's like, why don't you do that to Walmart? Why are you doing this to the Henry Helenar Cafe? You know what I'm saying? Like Henry works to save up $300,000 to open a restaurant in downtown wherever, and you knuckleheaded, blue-haired, bull ring wearing bozos are going to try and put him out of business. Matter of fact, that's hold on.
They wanted to be able to wear support Palestine pins and have DEI meetings and all this stuff.
Okay, hold on. Look at this.
Come on.
Coffee.
It's Minneapolis is where it was.
Close of business union. Look at this. There's a place in Philly. Here, look at these morons. Look at this.
30 individuals are without jobs this afternoon following the sudden closure of all 3 remaining OC.
This broad looks like Michael Jackson before he died.
Oh man, then I can't even look at her the same.
Yeah, wow.
Yo,
oh man, that's creeped
look
out.
at that, dude.
brutal.
Brian Tucker, what's up, man? Laughing Man is in the building. What's going on, my friend? As usual, what is going on? Uh-oh, there it is. Well, no, Lenny. They push socialism because whoever's planning the push or is in charge of this, guys. Everyone on the panel, cook with me here, and everyone in the chat, put a 1 if you agree, right? The people that plan the push for socialism are the ones that are benefiting off of it.
Yep.
Think about it.
Oh yeah.
The people that push for effinism, they're the ones that are ultimately gaining money from it. The big corporations, like, oh, you doubled the workforce, so we don't have to pay men a competitive wage. Oh, these colleges, they're getting billions of dollars of student loan money, and the government that's collecting billions and billions of dollars of interest. You don't say. You know, guys.
If everyone is equal, they're the same equal sheep in a way.
But not just that though. Who decides what is equal?
Right. The people
They
at the top.
have all the power.
Yeah, the people at the top. There's always a layer at the top.
There's always going to be a hierarchy in society.
Everything.
Socialism is, how do they not think that the people that are deciding what is equal are not the elites?
Yeah.
Or who enforces that quote unquote equality, right? Let's just say there's equal outcomes. What if Colin hoards a bunch of tomatoes in his hut, right? Well, someone's got to go get him, right? Who are those people? They're in charge. Hierarchy. What the fuck is going on? You guys got me swearing already, dude. What is going on? Guys, there's this push in modernity towards socialism. And I honestly believe, guys, that men minding their own business, men walking away is the same as like an intervention where you create an artificial rock bottom for a junkie. You know what I'm saying? I honestly believe that's the only way that men, either a war, like a major war or conflict, or men just leaving society to rot is the only thing that's going to make things change. Because no activism, no, nothing's gonna make things change. A Red Door says, so one criticism of socialism is that in any society where everyone holds equal wealth, there can be no material incentive to work. Facts, yep.
Or innovate, or innovation.
Yep. Hold on. There was something I was thinking about recently about innovation. I haven't said this in a while, but I was saying, government contracting works where like whoever can do it for the lowest bid wins, which is pretty crazy. To think that we sent people into space for the lowest bidder. But hey, it's better than the Soviets where you were at the barrel of a gun. Colin, work on the rocket, or do we kill the whole family?
Right.
I'm just saying, like, what's the alternative? You think that that the Sputnik scientists got paid?
Yeah. I think that, I don't know why people to this day still don't understand it, but those German people of a certain time period, they actually they were like the like hardcore definition of quote unquote socialists. Like,
yes.
And like somehow people forget that. Like
their ideology might have been different, like in certain ways, but the practical way of doing things, where the government had all the power, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's pretty socialist, guys. The thing is, socialism never works ever, because you cannot. Okay, this mindset is the same way as when, like, guys, the naked eye can tell that the NBA and the WNBA are two different things, right? Like, you can't gaslight us into thinking that it's the same. Our naked eyes can see, but people just, for some reason, just aren't allowed to be like, oh, guys, you cannot tell me that a doctor or an engineer or an HVAC or a person that actually knows how to farm or build a house is not more valuable than a person that's friggin' flipping burgers. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, but when it comes down to how society works, an engineer or a carpenter is more important, is more not worth as a human being, right? But worth in society. You know what I'm saying? You have to incentivize a doctor all right. This is why you see Canada, right? Guys, why is Canada's healthcare system cooked? Remember we had talked about yes, but they have 97,000 doctors, which should be enough. But the majority of them only work part-time.
Yeah.
Because they bill the government per procedure, and a lot of them, especially women, because I actually think the majority of them are women, make just enough of a living wage to live and then just go home.
Yep.
Whereas if it was Collins Hospital, Henry's Hospital, Snowboard's Hospital, we want the best doctors, but we also want to make the most money. So we're gonna say, hey, Jeff Smith and Gregory, you guys are gonna work 60-hour weeks, and you're gonna do X, Y, and Z, and we're gonna pay you. Let's talk numbers. That's how you get good product. That's how you make money. You know what I'm saying? Canada doesn't have that mama. Imagine that the majority of your doctors are part-time. That's crazy. And isn't that such a woman thing to do, to have a high-paying job and just like not get paid? You know what I mean? I mean, these guys,
it's nuts.
Put a 1 in the chat. And guys, once you think about this, if you live anywhere near like a big city and you've been dating, a lot of lawyers are females now. TJ, what's up, dude? Who's here? Gregory, what's up, man? So, guys, a lot of these women, they become lawyers and then will work for some nonprofit or something. Like, what are you doing? You have $200,000 in student loan debt. And you're making $60,000 a year working for some nonprofit. I want to help people. You want to help out your wallet first? What are you doing? If it was Colin, he graduate from law school, take the bar, and then be like, well, snowboard and Ed Henry LLC, they're the highest paying firm in the town. I'm going to go interview there. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. Because here's the case of these knuckleheads that are trying to unionize a coffee shop.
CF coffee house locations throughout Philadelphia.
Well, CBS News Philadelphia reporter Marcela Bayeto spoke with former employees and the company on what's next.
Ori, you can't hide. We all see your
figures, right?
You knew that she would look like that.
She's got the
we have a translation?
Rag on.
Guys.
I don't give a f*** about what you talking about trans these nuts, nigga.
Oh, guys, I'm announcing the start of a new series. I'm making a new series, right? And it's gonna be called. I find all these clips of chicks just acting stupid, but I have no context, right? So you guys are gonna see videos just like hardly any commentary, just chicks just acting like morons. Because on Instagram,
they're everywhere.
I find these clips, and I they're not enough to do like a whole video on. So I'm just gonna slap them all together. Let's go, because guys, I have tons and stuff. So, but anyways.
greedy side.
Former employees of OCF Coffee House rallied outside of the...
Oh, yeah. Sorry, guys.
Former employees.
Sorry, guys. Arch Knight, he reminded me.
We need a
translation.
Sorry, guys. I have to. Oh, man.
We all see your greedy side.
Former employees of OCF Coffee House.
Homegirls got some
I
shades,
noticed
man.
that.
How you doing? Now, guys, now, hey, props to the craftsmanship of whatever this knucklehead is standing on, right?
Yeah. That's a good
rallied
$4
outside of the now closed Fairmount.
Guys, it gets worse.
Oh my god.
What is that?
Guys, this is what happens, right? So they're trying to unionize. And what did the owner say? He said, you know what? This is more trouble than it's worth.
Yeah!
It is, though.
They found out the real minimum wage is $0.
Facts, yep.
On Tuesday.
We've been paid really bad wages.
Now you're not getting paid any wages.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And this was our attempt to get better wages and like make the place that we love better.
The coffee shops are owned by OCF Realty. The real estate brokerage announced the closures to employees in an email, which included 2 other locations in South Philly. Workers like Alex Simpson say they were shocked.
I am pretty crushed, especially when it's such a blatant response to our union process. Like, this comes a week after we publicly announced our union.
Workers say they made anywhere from $9 to $13 an hour, along with fluctuating tips. Former employees say they attempted to bring their concerns to management. OCF Realty President Ori Feibush told us over the phone he held meetings on Monday to hear from workers, but very few attended.
No one showed. So those conversations have not been able to happen. We've unilaterally extended health, vision, and dental for every staff member for 3 months.
He owns a chunk of the city. So we're just very confused as to why he couldn't pay us a couple more dollars an hour.
Feibush says the coffee shops already operated at a loss, and he's not against workers unionizing. Instead, it's the cost of legal services that come along with the union that added to the decision to close.
A decision that is as difficult as that one is never simplistic with, this happened or that. You had an organization that was already at its limit. It was just at its limit. It did not have the capacity to continue to burden additional cost.
The president of OCF.
And there's another one. Look. This place called Sizzle Pie Pizza. They closed.
To people who have been here for decades, the Rose City is no longer as bustling as it once was.
Gee, could it be
Especially
from all the junkies?
Yeah, the homeless.
All the homeless?
Yeah.
Looks like freaking Mad Max out there. You know what I'm saying?
downtown.
Downtown was booming, and we were really booming. It was super busy.
After the pandemic, many people chose to work from home or not come to the city center as much, leaving food carts like Fuego on edge, wondering if business would ever be the same.
Things are changing, I have to say. Things are good.
Then hold on. There's a couple of places, but yeah, they're like, we're trying to unionize, and they're just like, well, we have to close. There's one. It was an LDHD TV bar, or whatever, and they're like, it's a bar. Well, what are you talking about? Mutiny. What's up, man? Hell yeah, what's up, dude? Good to see you, man. As usual, good to see you. Right? And guys, I never did a video on this, but look at this. Look at this. This lesbian
We're seeing
bar.
a lot of Get Woke Go Broke.
Closed.
Lesbian bar shuts down 1 week after opening because they weren't woke enough.
Yeah, because they didn't let the Transformers in.
No one would pay the bill.
Chance to denounce you. And well, let's take a look. Doc Marie's is a lesbian bar that opened on July 1st of this year with the hope of bringing more inclusivity to the city of Portland. I don't know. Inclusivity seems to be pretty exclusive these days, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because if
Facts.
Yep.
What is this? Radio baloney, dude. Right on, man.
you don't get it just right, you're immediately the bad guy from Germany. But anyway, at just 1 week, 1 week after their grand opening, they were forced to shut down because of complaints that the bar was not a safe space.
Look at that. Look at that, guys. And this is why you never bend the knee. And this is why you never try.
Yep.
Right? Guys, battle lines, battle lines, battle lines.
Tell them to F off.
This is where we hold them. This is where we fight. This is where they die.
Oh, I love it. And she links here to another story. I did a video on this actually. It's a woke coffee shop closes down after insane demands from even more woke employees.
Yeah. There's a coffee shop
Turns out the employees revolted against the owners and demanded that they redistribute the company.
Think about how insane that is. Colin Henry and Snowboard scrimp and save at their warehouse stuff. They save up $500,000 to put down on a huge business loan so that they can open up a restaurant in downtown Dallas or whatever, right? Let's just say. Then the people who work there who didn't do any of the work, who didn't risk anything, want part of that?
Yeah, get out.
Yeah.
If anyone thinks that that's fair.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled.
Let us stream.
Guys, everyone stop.
They certainly don't want to pay for any insurance or any of the food or
business licenses.
Yeah, or the payment on the loan.
Right.
Yeah.
How about that?
Exactly.
Guys, give Carlos X a round of applause. Everyone stop and give him a round of applause.
What do you do?
Another failed business.
Carlos got the hell out of Portland, Oregon.
Oh, good for him. Yeah, bravo. Bravo, man.
He got out of there, dude. He said,
how's the PTSD coming along?
Oh, man. Look at Portland reformer chasing you syndrome, you know? Guys, let me see. Guys, make sure to hit the like button. Guys, we have 100 likes, 3 memberships, or 10 super chat goal, and then we will go to 3 or 4 TikToks. So, guys, make sure to do that here. We'll do the next 10 minutes for Discord members only, and then we'll open up the lines. Guys, you will see more daytime lives during the week. I have a lot of fun doing them, because they're just these these things that I see, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go live. I just have to. You know what I mean? There's just things just like, I'm glad you guys like the daytime lives.
Good ones.
It is cool. It is cool seeing a different audience. Like a lot of Europeans are in there. You guys notice that because it's earlier on.
Yeah, better hours.
Yeah. So guys, in the 3NN news, guys, anything you want me to cover, keep dropping in there. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'll usually cover that type of stuff. Benny, what's up, man?
Because that's why people go into business. That's why people take out business loans.
Yeah.
And use their life savings to start up a company so that they can immediately redistribute it. Sure. Let's see.
Wait a minute. Guys, look. Guys, you guys know what BIPOC means, right?
QT-POC. Yeah, what is that?
Yeah. Look at this, guys. The only thing dumber than BIPOC, Black Indigenous People of Color, is QT-POC.
New one.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I forgot fat though.
Guys, have you heard anything so stupid in your entire life?
Some people are really fucking stupid.
Guys, do you remember that for the daytime lives, guys? We always do like the first 15 minutes in the chat for everyone, and then it goes to members only. So, guys, make sure to hit the join button to become a member. Thanks to all you guys that are members already. I appreciate that, guys. Let me see. Guys, it's been all the way around. The algorithm changed in a lot of our type of content. Yes, it's been kind of, I don't want to say kind of slow, but it hasn't been pushed as much. If you look a lot of other creators, look at how down our views are. It's very, 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 very not a lot. You know what I'm saying? But like January, February were like both good months. March, and then April has just been a weird month. So let me see. All right, there we go. So look at this. I've never heard QT-POC before. Look, blasted other coffee shops for neglecting to protect their Black and Transformer employees.
Distribute it. Sure. Let's see. Apparently, the crowd on opening day was huge. One woman said that the line for entry on opening night was wrapped around the block with literally 200 lesbians.
That's a lot of flannels.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot of Subaru parts.
And a lot of Subarus. That's a lot of Foresters parked around the block.
Yep. Waiting to get in. Well, I'm afraid there's 200 very disappointed lesbians in Portland. Let's see. It says within days, Doc Marie's found itself on the receiving end of accusations of not being inclusive enough for trans people and people of.
And how do you even quantify that? See,
What?
men. Look, what I'm saying is this would be like we're at a sports bar, and someone goes, well, I'm a Detroit Lions fan, and they weren't inclusive of Lions fans. I didn't see another Lions fan in there. Maybe you were the only Lions fan. What are you talking about? How do you know that? How do you know? Do they have a sign that said no? Like, you know, there's 304s and these beta males. You know what I mean?
Some people's form of entertainment is to like just mess up stuff, and a lot of times it's these people because it's the only kind of power they can have in the world.
They don't produce anything. They don't own anything.
Right.
They don't manufacture anything other than drama, divisiveness, and hatred. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're not creative in any way either, besides stuff like
you guys
that.
want to see how cooked England is? You guys want to see how cooked it is? Look. In England, telling someone to speak English is an HATE crime.
Oh my god!
No, because if you do, that would be really handy for us. But apparently, during some conversations between yourself, apparently you've alleged. We weren't here, so I don't know you've said it, but you've alleged to say speak English or what's that? Speak clearly. Speak clearly.
No, the gentleman's partial of death.
Yeah, he can speak clearly. Yeah.
So I couldn't even hear him.
No, and that's fine, and that's why we've just come to speak, because potentially someone could perceive that as a hate crime.
Look at that! Look at that!
Man.
Cooked. Guys, the UK is falling. It's over.
Yep.
UK is done, dude. Until further notice.
Turn out the lights.
They're cooked. Yeah. Closing time. They're cooked.
Yep.
Guys, England.
Water is boiled.
English is originated in England.
Yeah.
That's their language. Why? Why is it wrong for someone to say you are in England, you should speak English in the same way that if you're in China, you should speak Mandarin? If you're in friggin' Saudi Arabia, you should speak Arabic. What's wrong with that? What's going on, guys? How is this a thing? And the British men just let this happen to their country, guys. You know?
Yeah.
Because all the hyperbole that we talk about America, guys, no, to us, it's hyperbolic about getting to this stage. But guys, England is everything that we fearmonger that America will be. England is.
Yeah. No weapons, no balls.
Yeah. Look at that. Yeah. I was going to say the cops have no guns. They don't have it. It's crazy.
Did we just know this was going to happen? No, I know. People, if someone's...
Hello, Governor. I'm not getting any balls, Governor. We gave away our balls, Governor.
Yeah. Muhammad banged my wife, Governor, and I can't say nothing about it.
No, just sit in the corner, Governor. I just told him to leave some sound in the room to remember him, boy.
Yeah.
Right. What a joke, dude. What a joke. God.
Officer, I believe this, then we need to look at it, because someone's potentially reporting to me film some of these.
Do some actual policing.
Yeah, can you imagine being that cop and having to do that and looking yourself in the mirror at night? It's insane.
So much soy. It's crazy. Guys, hold on. There was one more here. Hold on. Guys, yeah. Where's the race card? Guys, we will get on topic at some point. Trust me, okay? But I just here we go, guys. Where's the race card at? Hold on. I gotta here we go.
How about Andrew Bartholomew? How about just Andrew? I like that. How about June, July, August, September?
Oh, how about just Jun?
How about Jamar LaQuisha?
Oh, I didn't see that coming.
I almost died laughing.
I thought he was gonna say like Land Rover or something.
Yo! All these people put I am black and I approve of this. Yo, dude. Someone said, "Where's the smoke alarm?"
Beep. Jamar LaQuisha it is.
Oh, come on, guys. That's funny. You know,
that is
funny. All right, guys. So, guys, what generation of men are the biggest simps, right? We got boomers, we got Gen X, we got millennials, we got Gen Z, right? And guys, I can tell you though, as big as simps as Generation X is, see, boomers, boomers aren't simps, but they let a lot of the effinism happen. You know what I'm saying? So therefore,
true.
even though they're not simps in their personal lives, they let simping happen in society, right? They lost the collective duty to stop the simping from happening.
Yeah.
You know? And also they didn't recognize that, see guys, a simp can be some male effiness or whatever, but oftentimes guys on the panel, cook with me here, okay? A simp can just be a traditional guy that thinks that modern women are just that there's no such thing as a modern woman.
Fine. Yeah,
they're just delusional. Fine. They think that they're a traditional man that believes in the sugar, spice, and everything nice, right? Pyro, what's up, dude? Good to see you, my friend. Long time, man. Yeah, guys. I mean, you can simp now. Simping's 10 times worse if you're knowingly simping. Like, no way, man, Colin, you can't tell me you said she doesn't love me, man. Okay, Henry, I know that you've made perfect sense and had a whole PowerPoint that shows why I'm a goddamn idiot, but I'm not gonna listen to you, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Come on, dude. For first things over in India, what's up, dude? Guys, I dropped the link for anyone who wants to come on up, guys. Don't be shy, man. This is a good topic. So, yeah, guys, I have to say, though, boomers still had traditional chicks to deal with. So they weren't exactly simping because it was reciprocated. My parents or a lot of younger guys' grandparents, they could, graduate from high school, get a job, find a nice girl, get married, not get divorced. You know what I'm saying? But then what happened was Gen Xers, right? That's when things started to really, 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 really shift. Now, guys, let's look at this chart.
But I want to say that shift slightly coincides with more internet becoming more prevalent, because that put into women's mind that you can go be a 304, be Sex in the City, do all that. So you have to be
but even
the more internet that comes out, the harder you have to not be a simp in a way.
Because even here we go. Now look at this, guys. So look at this. So this kind of answers the question, but we need to see if we agree, right? So guys, baby boomers, only 38% of men call themselves agree with the ethnicist label. 50% of women. Generation X, 43 to 49. So Generation X is our simps more than baby boomers, right? Even though baby boomers taught Generation Xers to sleep. But then look at millennials, guys. 52%, 1 in 2 men. Ugh. Doesn't that make you sick to your stomach?
I was gonna guess that.
1 in 2 men is a knuckle dragging goofball. Let her kick you in the sack simp. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Yeah. Isn't that sad? 1 in 2. 1 in 2. Look at that.
I think baby boomers possibly could have been higher, but by the time this test was done, they're getting old. Women don't have as much power over them because they don't
I
want to bust.
disagree, and that's because a lot of chicks once again, they want an alpha in their home, but betas at work and in the rest of the world.
Yep.
And I think a lot of women got that. They wanted the ability to do all this other stuff, but then somehow managed to they didn't want to die alone. These boomers. Then Generation X and up, they don't care. They stopped thinking long term. You know what I'm saying? Whereas baby boomers had to think more practically, just like the silent generation. They had practical problems. Guys, I have background noise coming from someone, phone clicking and other things. So whoever it is, you can stop. But guys, baby boomers still had polio and friggin' the Vietnam War and other things that were in the news. You know what I'm saying? where they were actually like had real issues that was making them understand what gender roles were. But now, Generation X, millennials, especially, because I honestly think millennials are the biggest simps. Millennial men,
too. Yeah, I do
because here's
too.
the thing:
And I am
millennials
one.
are all about clout. One of the easiest ways to try and get clout and then try and be some male ethnicist to get nay is to be a male ethnicist / simp.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
To be fair to them, they've had that beat into their head since they were little.
Facts. Yep.
Agreed.
Yeah. Generation X was still like mostly raised by 2-parent homes, but millennials, man, shoot, all bets
They got
are
screwed.
off.
They got screwed.
You think millennials have any idea of any type of family values or moral or character? You know what I'm saying? Come on. Pyro. You know what, guys? Hold on. Let's pump the brakes really fast. All right. Let's pump the brakes. Guys, Pyro's from Jamaica, the single mother and paternity fraud capital of the world. Guys, I think they said that in Jamaica, 1 in 2 kids is not the father's kid.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like 50%.
Holy crud.
Pyro, give us your take on the whole thing. Pyro's in the trenches right now. You hear the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting.
All I can say is, if you listen to the music, it's always about having intercourse with multiple different women, especially with other men, like women. So like the dudes who are like catching shooting up all these clubs, they think the kids are theirs.
Yeah, that's true. Yep. Yeah. Because I think millennials are the biggest simps, and then Gen Z. Guys, Gen Z kids that are like 20, 21 now, think about it. 5 years ago, they were 15. What happened? Top G blew up. Kevin Samuels blew up. Greg Adams blew up. All of a sudden, Tom Likas episodes started getting uploaded en masse to the internet. You know what I'm saying? So these kids grew up like, okay.
Well, they have more choice of what media to consume and stuff, where millennials, to a degree, have like shows like Friends and Garbage
and
Sex in the City.
Sex in the City with Sarah Jessica Horseface.
Her name was Mr. Ed.
Why the long face, girl?
The London show. What's up, my friend? Arch Knight, how's it going? King B says a chat at work. Dude has it going for him. He's playing Baby Daddy's some thought he met at the gym. Tried to help him, but determined. You know what? Guys, let's give King B some advice, right? Dude, I can tell you this. Don't even argue. Look him straight in the eyes, right? And say, you can't handle the truth. I'm telling you guys, put a 1 if you agree. Guys, blue-pilled knuckleheads like that, they will get got, right, guys? They will get got. And then when your bank account is empty, he's paying child support, right? Or you find out that the kids aren't his, he's gonna be crushed. 3 o'clock in the morning, he'll be on his iPad. He's gonna find content like ours, guys, and we'll be sitting on the tires.
You want to get out of here? Talk to me.
Never fails. Never fails. Right? Never fails. Guys, almost every single blue-pilled, knuckleheaded, moron idiot that I know has got. Every single one, you know? And the longer they're in it, the worse it is.
Yeah.
That's all we can do is point and laugh, you know? It's like
it's an illusion because it appears to work out for them at first, some of the time. They get married and they seem happy and all that, but a few years later or something, it really starts to go down. Like,
but you know, Russian roulette seems to work out for you. Jay Truther, your devices are not connected, so connect your microphone in your camera and then turn your camera off. If it didn't give you the prompt, go out and come back in, but just make sure to hook up your devices. Yep. So here we go. Where were we? Back to the old chart here. But guys, so you guys remember Henry? How old are you?
60.
Okay, so Henry's older, but Henry, you a wrestling fan?
I was back years ago, yeah.
Yeah, but you remember like in the 90s during the Attitude Era with like NWO, DX.
Big.
Okay, Colin, you were there. You remember how like in school all the guys were wrestling was our thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh snap, dude, the chess club, the friggin' D&D kids, even some of the theater guys were like, we would meet by the flagpole in the morning. Even the Jesus is Lord guys were like kicking all the girls, like, oh my God, you guys watch wrestling? And then you guys remember where anytime anything gets popular with men, if it's video games, if anything else, all of a sudden the news is trying to expose it.
Yeah.
And all this.
Yeah.
And there was guys, someone's doing some clicking noise. I don't know what it is, but whoever it is, just please. So you guys remember it was like, this is the news story. We're showing the truth behind wrestling, blah, 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 right? Because it was like an inside thing that it was just for us guys, right? It was like our thing, you know? Guys, that's how the red pill was from I would say end of 2019 until about 2023. That was a thing. All men were united by it. All men. Old, young, black, white, rich, poor. You had guys watching this stuff on their phones. Watching this stuff on their at work, driving home. You know what I'm saying? It just became this unifying thing. It still is, you know, but when you look at like Kevin Samuels, right, dude, all the guys I know, I'd either heard of him or watched him. Top G, all the guys I knew had either heard about him or watched him at some point. You know what I'm saying? So that Gen Z, their unifying thing wasn't anything like you could probably say it's like, you know, Minecraft or friggin' Fortnite. I think that like Red Pill was their Attitude Era wrestling thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It was their like teachers are telling them, they have to sit through little workshops in school to like, don't watch this stuff. Would makes them want to watch it more. You know? So yeah, Gen Z though, there's a huge gap between Gen Z and men and women. And guys, the women will have to come around. They'll have to, because the men, what men already delete themselves. Men are already lonely. Men are already alcoholics and drug addicts. And what worse can happen to us, right? Now these feminists are getting the same outcomes that men are. Now you got women that are junkies, alcoholics, dying alone. You know what I'm saying? And whenever it happens to them, all of a sudden it's some big crisis. You know what I mean? They fought for this. This is what they voted for. They wanted to be out here.
I am woman, hear me roar, in numbers too big to ignore.
Having some crap commute, having to get up at freaking 4 o'clock in the morning to sit in soul-crushing traffic, to work some job you hate for some piece of trash boss and some knuckleheaded B-dub HR lady named Keisha, who's getting paid more than you to do friggin' F all, you know what I'm saying? And then drive home and do the same thing.
Yep.
They fought for this. Except, guys, here's the thing. All right, guys, everyone on the panel. Hold on, guys. We have 70 people watching, guys. Ooh, we have 63 likes. Thanks for that, guys. Guys. Oh, and thanks for all you guys who hit up the Cash App, man. I really appreciate that. Guys, let's talk about the differences between. Hold on. I lost my train of thought. Okay, let's talk about the differences between the generations of men and women for each generation, right? So, guys, let's talk about the women first. Because what's the difference between the boomer women and the Generation X women? Whoever wants to go first. Anyone? Anyone?
Well, when they became Gen X, they wanted to be a little bit more "quote unquote" free.
Yeah.
It started that process. So, in a sense, the Gen X people or women kind of wanted it to have their cake and eat it too, which I
Yes.
guess every generation does that. But that was the start of it. Them trying to be more like men, essentially.
Yes. Yep. I also think that Gen X are the first ones that really had a disdain for woman for anything that's inherently feminine. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Motherhood, being a wife, cooking, making a big meal with your hands and serving people and seeing the warmth and environment that you created. You know what I'm saying? Guys, even as a guy, guys, if there's an MMA fight on the UFC pay-per-view and you invite your boys over and you got ribs and stuff, it makes you feel good. You know what I'm saying? I got all these guys. What up, guys? Woo! That's something that makes you feel good. It makes you feel good to be able to provide that type of environment for people that are cool. You know what I mean? People who are a part of your life. With women, it's 10 times more powerful because, guys, what's one of the basic functions that women are supposed to have is feeding their children, right?
Yeah.
That's what they're biologically meant to do. They breastfeed. They're supposed to feed their offspring. And women nowadays can't even bother. They can't even bother to learn how to cook, to learn how to host a meal, to learn how to do any of that because, guys, they're useless.
Yeah, they are.
Modern women are useless. Guys, what are modern guys here? What? You know what? On the panel, anyone in the chat.
It's a lost art. Before it was like an art form, and a woman being a host was like you really would want that, and it was a class.
It was a duty too. It was a duty. Women had the baby boomers that were the last group of women that felt that they had a duty to society. Everything past then, me, I.
Yeah.
My journey, my truth, right? Guys, here.
I need to travel and get plowed all over the world.
And let friggin' Mahmoud
Aladdin Nug.
and let friggin' Nug 11 Now, guys, what are these Generation X, Millennials, and Gen Z? What are they even good for? And I'm being serious, guys. I want an answer. What are they good for?
I don't see much really, because
they can't cook like an egg. I was with a girl who had a kid a few times, and she didn't.
God's
even know how to
name,
cook an egg.
What are they good for? Absolutely nothing.
It's even worse, really. They, not only do they don't produce anything. They have no value of any kind. And now we're, the evidence is like piling up that, women can't even be trusted to be incubators for babies anymore.
Yep.
I mean, look at how many young babies are coming out.
Not even that though. Hooked on opioids. Hooked on opioids.
Yeah.
Alcohol syndrome.
Yep.
Smoking. If they're even born at all, if they're not freaking deleted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely insane. Guys, the thing that women are good at is making money for
themselves,
rich people and corporations.
Yeah, I was gonna say the thing that they got better at unknowingly is one thing that they always complain about: objectifying themselves.
Yeah,
that's what they're doing, especially millennials and Gen Z. They're objectifying themselves on Instagram, OnlyFans, OF, and just in regular life. It's more, in some ways, I kind of see why they do it, because they kind of get more value in attention in the attention marketplace by doing that, rather than just being humble, being like a mom, cooking, and
Well,
and not having an online persona and
a
whatnot.
lot of them have addictive personalities, and if it's alcohol, if it's Xanax,
Yeah.
Internet validation is just as addictive, right? Look
Yeah.
at this, guys.
It's dopamine hits.
For the first time in history, women are binge drinking more than men.
Yep. Wow.
And they don't know how to handle a drink.
I am getting so hot, I'm gonna take my clothes off. Look at that wine mommy culture. Yeah. Look at that, guys.
Yep.
Yeah, and look at this. This is biology says that they can't handle alcohol. Look, from 2006 to 2014, alcohol-related visits to the ER increased 70% for women.
That's a lot.
70%. Absolutely insane. And guys, so the boomers, the Generation X went to, we're gonna start delaying marriage and motherhood and all this other stuff, right? But all these chicks who were benefiting practically from marriage and coupling, who were telling their daughters not to do what they did when they had nothing but positive outcomes. Think about how I'm living in a big house with a nice car and all this other stuff, and then there's my neighbor who's poor saying, "Don't do what I did to get this, or you'll be a slave." Clown work.
Right.
But I think they want to kind of be a 304, so they live it out vicariously through their daughter a little bit. I think that could be a part of it.
Yep. Hold on, let me see. Which generation of women has the most STDs?
I'm gonna guess Gen Z.
Let's see, guys. Let's see if I can get a chart here. Okay. Let's see if we can get a chart. I know the high five is on the rise. I know the herp derp is on the rise. Let's see. Let's see. NIH. Disgusting, guys. Here we go. Okay, here is the clap. This is 2007 to 2016. Ugh. Places
it's got to be even higher now.
Clap, yeah. Look at that, dude. Look at that. All these states here. Yeah. Louisiana, Alabama, yuck, dude.
Alaska.
Yeah. This doesn't help. Hold on, guys. Here we go. No, not accepting cookies. Sorry. Millennials. What? Millennials, less sex, more STDs. What?
Wow.
How does that work? You know why? Because a lot of the chicks
that are going crazy.
Yeah, it's just all the chicks are all banging all the same guys. How do I even have to ask myself?
Well, yeah.
You've been had.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, remember those girls are getting 100 guys in a night on OF and stuff? It's that type of behavior.
Yep, look at that. These chicks are cooked, man. Look at that. STIs on the rise in older women. Disgusting.
Oh yeah.
Older Americans now, yuck. Okay, so guys, back to here. Okay, so guys, and the Generation X, they were the ones who had a larger amount of saying. I think Generation X is when single motherhood really started to be celebrated. You know what I'm saying? Because the late 80s and the early 90s is when the single motherhood stigma really started to be challenged, you know? is when it started to start saying that single moms are strong and independent and blah blah blah, and the whole accountability thing. See, in the 70s and the 60s, if you got pregnant as a teen, you just disappeared. You went, to a different state and then came back with a little brother. You know what I'm saying? He would say your son was your brother or your son was your daughter. You know what I'm saying? And then that's how it went. And the person didn't know. You guys know how many people found out?
I didn't know that.
That like their older sister was actually their mom, or that their aunt, you know what I'm saying, was their mom, but she had a baby when she was like 15. You know what I'm saying? So, and then millennials, all bets were off.
Millennials were cooked.
All bets were off, and these kids being a teen. Let's just say millennials. You're 1985, so you were. So you were 15 in the mid 2000s when all these reality shows and all this crap started, dude. And when porn really, really, really started getting big on the internet and free on the internet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is a generation that started just getting what's fun, and they were just cooked.
Yeah. The internet and corn really couldn't scramble your brain.
Yes. But you guys know what's funny is
and women's brain too. Women's brain too, as well. To be fair, which doesn't help anything.
You guys know who Asia Carrera is?
Yeah.
So she's an older corn star, and she did a whole bunch of interviews. She did like a documentary on like the industry and how it isn't good. She had a thing. It was like a Netflix thing, and they were interviewing all these retired corn stars, and like they're all messed up, just because like. But she's like a day trader and stuff. That was really, really weird. But she said that Jenna Jameson in the late 90s and the early 2000s, she was more harmful than any other person because she glamorized that life. She was on the red carpet and everyone thought she was a rock star. She's like, this is what is going on here. There's no
they mainstreamed her. They mainstreamed her.
Yeah. And that level of attention opened it up for Paris Hilton, who that worked great for her. And then what do we have? Kim Kardashian later. And they are two huge, quote unquote, icons for just being dumb 304s.
You want to see like the funniest comment? Watch. Look. Forever ignoring anyone trying to shoot their shot. Watch. Watch. Someone says they would shoot their shot with a harpoon.
Oh my god! This has to be Instagram. Is this Instagram?
Yo! This has 10,870 likes.
People on Instagram are complete savages.
Yo, this is the internet's a savage place. This is diabolical. Look at this. Someone says, even the Chinese have standards. Look at that, dude. He said, dude, hilarious, man. One sentence completely annihilated this chick's existence, man. That is hilarious. That is hilarious, man. This comment needs more likes. I'm crying right now. Look at that. Just one sentence completely bodies this shit. That is hilarious. And then here's the other one, guys. This.
Told my wife, I'm like, hey, my buddy Jordan got engaged. And she goes, oh my gosh, tell me everything. I just did. I told you everything that I learned from that conversation. And she's like, no, like, how did they get engaged? How did he propose? I didn't ask. We don't ask each other those questions. I don't even know how old he is. There are so many other questions that I would ask him before that. And she goes, why don't guys ask each other more questions? Like, we do. Like I asked him, I was like, hey, Are you sure? Now, as far as that conversation, I learned what I needed to learn. Number one, he's engaged. Number two, the date of the bachelor party. But as far as the proposal, hey, Jordan, what was the mood and the setting like when you proposed? I want a need-to-know basis. And if Jordan's not going to volunteer that information to me, which he didn't, thank God, I don't need to know. So, okay, thanks, bye.
Yeah, isn't that crazy how that works, right? Guys, and it's like we don't need to know this extra crap.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, Colin
It
Henry
saves time.
snowboard pyro myself. I go, hey guys, there's a dock near my house. I got beer, bring your fishing poles and some chairs. Guys, how long can we sit on that dock and not say a damn word to each other?
Hours.
A long
Hours.
time.
Other than toss me another beer.
Yeah.
Best day I've ever had. Best friends I've ever had. You know what I'm saying? You guys, isn't that better than all these chicks that claim that their friendships are better than ours, and all it is you know what I'm saying? And what are you talking about? You guys know too much about each other.
Yeah.
You know?
It's mostly
that's why the
nonsense.
friendship last so long, because they have so much dirt.
Yeah. Yep. So guys, so then Gen Z.
You know why it's called dirt? Because they're hoes.
Yeah.
Look at now, guys. Why do you think? And we'll get into TikTok here really fast because I have some TikToks. Why do you guys think Gen Z? Why there is this big gap? Speculate, guys. What do you think? Why do you think men are? Because this is dropping, guys.
Because
this is dropping.
I would say there's been more time to have a red pill choice.
Yes. Yeah, guys. I say, guys, it's because this generation of men were told that they were crap, but we're too busy working in the plant, working in factories to care, right? You know what I'm saying? But then this generation of men heard these women and these women crapping on them, but then saw the manufacturing jobs and all these other jobs dry up. Then these men heard these women. You guys can't see my mouse. These women and these women and these women crapping on them, right? But then more of them went to college, and more of them had time to actually consume media. Guys, Generation X, we still had Arnold and Van Damme and all these masculine figures on TV. You know what I'm saying? Guys didn't cry in the 80s, in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? The millennials grew up on Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. You know what I'm saying? Clown World. Baby boomers had freaking Gunsmoke and freaking Columbo and all that stuff, or they were working. They would get up, go to work, go to the plant, come home, drink some beers, mow the lawn, and then go to bed. So even though the wives were in there having little Tupperware clubs and talking trash about the men didn't care. You know what I'm saying? But then what happened was slowly over time, the outlets that men had to share their own thoughts or whatever, I would say from millennials to in Gen X, male voices were okay. You guys know how Orange Man just beat the crap out of Knucklehead Harris, right? And they were saying that the reason why they were so convinced that she was going to win is because all conservative voices had been silenced off the internet to where the quiet majority became the quiet majority. You know what I'm saying? They went from the quiet majority to the silent majority. You know what I'm saying? To where people were not even like talking online about the fact that they were going to vote one way to where they were completely surprised. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I believe that this is what happened here. These men, from when they were born, they were not allowed to have any type of voice at all until the red pill movement went mainstream, and they realized, wait a minute, we aren't all crazy. You know, I think that they are trying to attribute a direct cause, like men are being more radicalized, when the cause is actually these women, and these women. The snowball effect of all their critique and criticism and discrimination, misogyny, all falling down on these men right here. It's this big hammer that goes do 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 bang, and now these men here, they're not having it.
Yeah,
Gen Z men are not having it anymore. They're not. You hear teachers and saying, these female teachers saying these young boys are just spouting like red pill talking points in class. You know what I'm saying? Or they're like, why do we have to read this book by this chick?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Most millennial men,
it's self-preservation too.
Yes.
They
Yep.
You know.
Yep. Most millennial men identify as ethnic. In fact, they claim the labels as roughly equal numbers as millennial women. So the rising projection of ethnicism that's among young men is also certainly linked to growing feelings that American society has become more hostile to men, which is true. In 2019, less than 1/3 of young men have reported that men experience some sort of discrimination. Only 4 years later, close to half say this. And guys, once again, people don't know. You guys ever been treated some way at work or at school? You didn't realize it until someone said something. You're like, wait a minute, why is this teacher always calling me out? Or why? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not victimhood. It's just oftentimes we have blinders on because we're trying to achieve. And a lot of us successful men, we don't go immediately to the victimhood mentality. Yeah. It takes a lot for me to actually think that I'm being discriminated against, you know? But when enough guys with all of us on this panel are like, Colin, wait a minute. Yo, man, that HR lady's talking to you crazy. Colin was like, wait a minute. Keisha is talking to me crazy. You know what I mean? So look at this. 18 to 29 victims of discrimination. And this number should be a lot higher, you know? A lot higher. In the era of microaggressions. Shut up, guys. Any guy who uses the word microaggressions, seriously, dude, come on. Beta. That means that you have the privilege of not having actual
real aggressions.
Yeah. So you're worried about the micro kind. Guys, make sure to drop a like on the stream. I'd appreciate that. Guys, join the Discord. Please consider becoming a member by hitting the join button. You guys don't see the join button, hit the link that's in the description. Let me see. Look at this. 44% of women feel satisfied with the way that women are treated inside. Guys, that was higher back in the 50s. Isn't that crazy, guys?
Mm-hmm.
The majority of women in the 50s thought that it was great. Women were actually happier in the 50s and in the 60s. And now they've got, guys, what's the best way to show a wokey woke that they're wrong? Just give them,
tell them the truth.
Just give them
Taste their own medicine. Yeah.
Give them what they ask for. Just ask Portland, Oregon, right, guys? Yep. Right now, Portland, Oregon's figuring out.
You've been had.
Run them up.
Look at that, guys. Look at that. Yeah. Okay, so let's go here. 1 second, guys. Oh, here you go. Look.
Men love. Woman love money.
Oh, here you go, guys.
Stupid idiot.
Just like a
All right, let's go to TikTok here, guys. Hold on. 1 second. And guys, thanks for being here on a Sunday, guys. I appreciate that. Here you go. So I finally found this guy here.
Are Gen Z men saying fuck off to feminism? Yesterday, BBC News shared an article that showed the widening gap between Gen Z men and Gen Z women, with a particular trend showing that Gen Z women are becoming more progressive and Gen Z men are becoming more conservative. Now, this is nothing new. It was shown that this was happening in America before, and it's happening across the West. And for me, it's incredibly fucking obvious why this is happening. Because feminism and the left in the present day do absolutely nothing to support men. They do the opposite. They demonize, they stigmatize, and they ignore their problems.
Pretty much, right? They don't care. They don't. The guys, feminism to men is what critical race theory is to Asians. You know what I'm saying? Like saying men have problems destroys the whole feminist narrative. In the same way that admitting that Asians out-earn everybody and they're not white destroys critical race theory. Guys, almost all the Indians I know are balling. All of them. People go, oh, the small hats. No. All my Indian friends make a lot of money, dude. And they just work harder than everyone else.
Highest earning households in the country.
Yeah. They work hard and then they say, gee, am I going to be a software engineer, right? Or am I going to be a freaking doctor or a lawyer? If those are your only three options, you're going to earn a lot of money.
Yep.
What are you talking about? Am I going to work for some big law firm or some big hospital or Google? Those are your three employers that your 9-year-old is, Daddy, I want to work for Google. Like, dude, you're going to make money, man.
And they have stable families too.
Yes.
So they can build generational wealth.
And here's the thing, guys. There's one thing about the small hats that people don't understand, right? After WW2, they didn't want small hats in politics, right? So a lot of the political science schools and other schools wouldn't let them in, but a lot of these schools had expanded their medical schools, law schools, etc., and needed straight A students. So they're there's all these students that need a place to go, right? And then they ended up having a whole lot of them as lawyers and doctors. That's how it works. Guys, any group en masse that decides to all be lawyers, imagine if all of a sudden all the Croatians that came to America were like, we're all gonna be mechanical engineers. Like 90% of them said, then everyone was like, oh, all these Croatians making all this money because they're all engineers. You know what I'm saying? They're all in fields that make a lot of money, you know?
Why would young men be drawn to an ideology that on the surface at least comes across like it hates men for being men? And that is not what feminism is meant to be about. In theory, according to some definitions, it is meant to be about gender equality. But all you need to do is chat to the average feminist or see the average feminist influencer on social media, point out some of the inequalities that men face, such as in the education system, such as in mental health care, and such as how the economy is changing today with the decline of traditional jobs. Do they care? No, absolutely not. But what will they do? They will blame men for it. They will say it is the fault of men themselves.
Yes, they're empowered victims. We're outperforming men. We're doing this. We have more degrees. Men are falling behind. Men are this. But there's a wage gap. Come on.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Men are beneath me. They're on my level. But there is a patriarchy. What are you talking about?
I can't find a good man, and I'm a 304.
How ridiculous that position is, to where you can say all these accolades, but then say "but" and victimize yourself at the end. That means there's no accountability. All these chicks are strong and independent, or whatever, but then a man can talk them into having sex with them. A man can talk them into can get them pregnant. These chicks say that men can trap them with a baby. Please.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
Clown world. What is going on? Think about that. How ridiculous that statement, that a man can trap a woman with a baby, that a man can get a woman pregnant on purpose. Let's think about the verbiage you use there. No accountability whatsoever. And guys, hold on. I'm gonna pump the brakes here. All right. Let's pump the brakes. Guys, okay, so I've noticed this in the Discord and a lot of other places. Guys, there's one thing that I don't do is the victimhood mentality. Okay? Guys, I don't know what this whole thing is with like the small hats, right? Guys, they're out there. But guys, you don't think that Colin, Henry, Snowboard, Pyro, Ivan, Yash, that we're not going to get our money and be successful? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. What is this? The small hats, let's just grant that as being true. So what? So guys, that's why I don't talk about it. Guys, I don't care. I'm going to get mine. That's how it works. This is the same thing blacks do with whites. All these other blacks, besides me, these white people, Colin and Henry and Snowboard, they just wake up to victimize us blacks as today. It's simplistic thinking, and it's presupposing that no matter what you do, there's some unseen hand is going to hold you down. It's ridiculous. It's soy milk drinking thinking. And I could even say, let's just grant all that is true. What does it have to do with you getting money? What? How? That's why I don't even entertain that conversation. I look at the facts, guys. I look at this and that, because it doesn't matter, because I'm going to win either way. I can't stand it. I can't, because I hear these knuckleheads, especially being black, where they literally wake up and they think today the whole, because it's this weird type of self-centeredness, and that's why a lot of women do this. You guys, Colin, Henry, Snowboard, you guys notice how it's always B-dubs and white chicks that are talking about supremacy? You understand? As if they're important enough to friggin' that white guys are just getting up and going to work to pay the bills, somehow have a time to stop and get a beer and impress them. What are you talking about? It's just such such warped thinking. It makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I stubbed my toe. It's a white guy's fault. I lost my keys. It's Colin's fault. What are you talking? Why? So guys, that's why that whole conversation about small hats, about what I just don't, guys, it doesn't matter to me. I have no opinion, because I believe every single one of you in this chat is going to get your money. It's going to be successful. Every one of us, guys, this is just like us fighting the algorithm. It's Coyote and we are the Roadrunner. You know what I'm saying? Guys, I just don't understand this conversation. I don't deal with any victimhood at all. I just don't. Mm-hmm. Guys, point out what you believe to be facts, fine. But there's a difference between pointing out facts and then victimizing yourself. Does that make sense?
No.
Huh?
That's true. Like, people complain a lot and not take advantage of the situation.
Yeah, because guys, people point not a lot of facts about a lot of groups of people. That's fine. But guys, we are going to get money. We're going to be successful because you take the red pill and you can strategize. What happens is that people end up saying, oh, well, Colin's a white guy. And so even though I've had to work this hard, he has to have only worked this hard. Why are you going to look at another guy and judge yourself? Well, and then there's a whole, guys, put a 1 if you agree. There's a whole lot of pocket watching going on too. You notice that? When did men start pocket watching people? That has to be the most big. Well, Elon Musk has 36 billion. What does that have to do with Colin, Henry, Snowboard, Pyro, Ivan getting paid? What does that have to do with? There's enough to go around. Guys, the poor, the dumb, and the 304s, let them fight it out and let us, the guys who work, the guys who kick butt, the guys who take names, the guys that are red pilled, let us get our money. You know what I'm saying? That's the one part about. So, for instance, guys, I'm gonna have a show about incels here in the next couple weeks, guys. That's the one. I don't really talk about incels much, because that's the one thing about the whole incel thing, guys. They victimize themselves so much, and they make vajayjay the crux of their existence. You know what I'm saying?
Give me a break.
No girls want to meet with me. Chad and Tyrone only get the girls. Really, dude? Guys, how is it that people? Okay, here's the thing, and guys, anyone who wants to chime in about the incels, how can you put a person down and say this group of people are trash, or this, or this, or that, to the scum under my shoe, yet they have the power to dictate my entire life.
Right.
Guys, who's clicking on the phone? I don't know who it is. Whoever's clicking. But yeah. Spaces, yep. Trying. Incels, they're trying women's tag. Because in the same way these feminists are saying they presuppose that it's all men's fault. They're saying it's all women's fault. That's crazy. Guys, I don't understand. I'm glad that no one that I know on this channel has this victimhood type of mentality. Guys, you point out the obstacles in your way and you move around it. I would say this. This is my issue with the black community a lot, and anyone who's black in the chat or Pyro or whoever else sound off. Back in the day, you had blacks and Hispanics. Let's just say that there was 10 doors, and 10 of them were open for whites, but 3 of them were open for blacks, and 2 of them for Hispanics. You would get as many blacks and Hispanics through those 2 and 3 doors as possible to start opening up the doors, right? Now, this new group, they'll stare at the other 7 closed doors and not go through the other ones. You're sitting there complaining on this side instead of going through the sides available and then being jealous. What good is that going to do? It doesn't do any good. And then begging the white people to open the doors for you. Why would they do that? Why? We need white or male allies to help us to have us sit here and drink lemonade and open these doors for us. It makes no sense. None. So
gives them an excuse for failure.
Yes. Yep. And I think, you know what? That's good, guys. I think that's the thing that that I want to preach against the most when it comes to women, small hats, anything else, guys. Don't let it be an excuse for failure, right?
Don't give them any power. Don't give them any more power.
Yes, because that's what they want, is for you to live in this state of disempowered negativity, And guys, this whole space is to empower ourselves and strategically plan how to win. Even us having these conversations and realizing that all of us are on the same page. We're not all crazy, right? Because especially I think that it's good with this space because Colin, you're my age, Henry, you're older. Pyro, you're about my age, right? He's muted. And then Ivan, how old are you?
No, I'm 26 right
Oh,
now.
he's young.
Oh, and Ivan, you're how old? Oh, he's muted. But okay, so guys, we have older guys giving young guys game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing. I listen to the conspiracy side to listen to the facts and the arguments, right? But what happens with some conspiracy people is that they act like it's a hopeless black hole. You know what I'm saying? They don't use these conspiracies in a way to promote some type of positivity. They don't use it as information. They use it as a browbeater. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And what happens is that people go down this rabbit hole and they're just not empowered at all. You know?
Yeah,
Guys,
it should
look,
be used to make you conscious or aware of something.
Yes.
So that you can choose to do
How to navigate.
to act accordingly.
Yep. Yes. And guys, trust me, back in the 2011, 2012, these pro-black Hotep Egyptologists, blacks were Vikings and blacks were gods on earth and all that. Those knuckleheads are all these stupid friggin' conspiracy theories. You guys want to hear the craziest conspiracy theories? Go to those stupid pro-black spaces. All it is, yes, Dr. Umar, moron. You guys. Also, too, there's no accountability. They're all just like 304s because they keep moving the goalpost. If I can say that Colin and Henry in snowboard, the white guys were in charge of everything that's wrong in my life, I can't be held accountable because it's never my fault, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I know that, that white people keep blacks from going to college, and I end up going to college, but white people are going to stop me from getting a job. Well, I know that I got a job, but I could have got a better one if not for a white. Like, what is this? You keep moving the goalposts. You keep moving the goalposts.
Or I wasn't held back, but others were.
Yes. Oprah and all these knuckleheaded billionaire blacks. Well, they were just tokens that were held up. It's just clown world. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, I digress. But yeah, guys. So if you ever see say in the Discord, what I say about that is, guys, just always think about, like, feel free to state the facts. Feel free to make the arguments. But guys, really understand, a lot of times, if it doesn't, how does it affect us getting up, going to work, having to pay the bills, and then putting out information so that young guys don't end up in family court, paternity court, you know what I'm saying, getting paternity fraud, you know what I'm saying, all this other stuff. Because that's more important than anything else. I think that if we can stop men from ending up making a lot of the same mistakes us Gen Xers and young boomers made, guys, the whole system would change.
Yes, sir.
If we tell young men ages 19 to like 35, guys, leave these 304s alone. Leave them alone, guys. There's an SS Chevelle rotting away in someone's backyard that they can pick up and work on. You know what I'm saying? There's some 40K figures. You know what I'm saying? Learn to play guitar. You know what I'm saying? Learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You know? There's something out there that you can spend your time and money on other than OF or $30 drinks at the bar. $30 drinks at the bar?
Screw that.
Yeah, please. You know what I mean?
It's the patriarchy. Men have built this system, therefore it's their fault. But when it comes to women's inequality, it's a systemic problem, which is weird. Because when it's men's issues, it's them that's the problem. It comes from inside.
But guys, it's a small group of men. I say this all the time, right, guys? Put a 1 if you agree. There's a small group of men that are using government and women to redistribute money from us to them.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Bingo.
If women think all of us men are the same, we're not. There's a small group of men making all this money, and their wives are above them because those men have to work and their wives don't. You know what I'm saying? The most privileged group of people are these rich dudes' wives, and these are the ones out there trying to march. You know?
But for women, everything else is outside. Again, it's men's fault. And the reason they do this most of the time is because they're fucking ignoramuses. They haven't done their research. They haven't looked at the data. They haven't seen that inequality exists for both men and women and that it's desirable to address both of them. And they also haven't done the own self-reflection to see that the stance they're taking of pointing the finger at men and blaming them rather than trying to address the problems is a reflection of their own ego and refusal to accept changing information. And the problem with this is it's created an enormous vacuum where you have a lack of male support on the left. So it's all come from the right, who are not much better either. It's just led the way for this very fixed traditional idea of masculinity.
As I've asked this countless times, right? Can you be pro-male and be a Democrat? Answer in the chat, yes or no. Anyone on the panel? Yep. No.
You know what would be a good show to do? Or it could be like wives of some of the most evil people.
Yeah.
And how they didn't have a problem with it. They benefited from it.
Yeah.
Because they never get any attention. They're just like, well, I let him do everything, but yeah, you still benefited off of it.
Well,
like slave owners' wives.
Thank you. All the slave owners' wives.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's tons of stuff like that.
Yep, it's true. Yep.
And a lot of them, even when they do we'll say white collar crime like stock market stuff,
yep,
they know about that.
Hey,
They
how about the
understand
one
that.
guy? The one guy, the spy in the 80s. What's his name, guys?
Walker. Walker.
James Bond.
No.
Walker. His wife turned him in. John Walker.
Aldrich Ames.
Oh, Ames.
That's his name. Guys, why was he do it? Because his Brazilian wife wanted a Jaguar. Guys, what kind of moron walks into the CIA wearing a nicer suit and have a nicer watch than the CIA, the head of the CIA? Don't you think
You get
that's
MK
a little
Ultra
odd?
or something? Yeah, it's stupid.
Don't you think that's a little odd when you're driving a brand new Jag and the secretary that what's the name? The not secretary, the CIA, the head of the CIA is driving a friggin' regular car and you're driving a Jaguar? Isn't that a little odd?
Yeah.
Moron. Yeah. Aldrich Ames.
Still sitting in jail.
Oh, really? They didn't execute his mind yet?
No, they get life.
Come on, man. They should have used the firing squad. There's one thing, guys.
Yeah, he got people killed.
If you don't like America, guys, leave.
He got people killed.
Yeah. They would do drops for agents, and they would know right where they would go.
Yep.
They would drop right in the Soviet hands. Ridiculous, man. Well, hopefully he got lots and lots of beatings.
He's like in the cell for 23 hours a day.
Good.
It's 1 hour out. That's it.
Where if you don't conform to it, you're seen as a beta male or a soy boy. But the left are in complete denial about how they're aiding this side of the right. And they will say something like what I'm saying now as a more neutral observational stance is akin to that. They will say that anybody who dares to criticize feminist ideology or woke ideology must be a Tate-supporting right-winger. And people can see through that bullshit. They're sick of it.
And they're the ones that are trying to say that they're the party of logic and reason and all this foolishness when they have the whole thing going on. You know what I'm saying? I had told all you guys I used to be part of that like new atheist, Matt Dillahunty type of stuff. I used to do all those debates and stuff. And then they had completely lost the plot. Around 2018, 2019 is when they let in the woke. religion, all this stuff. And now the people that are supposed to be the party of logic and reason and science are working to dunk on you Christians. Now Christians are the reasonable ones and these idiots are not. You know what I'm saying? How can you say, oh, well, you believe in Jesus, you're a moron. So, well, you believe that a friggin' dude can friggin' turn into a transformer, right?
Right.
What are you talking about? Who's more reasonable here?
Let's forget about DNA.
About? Huh?
Let's forget about DNA.
And these woke anti-God groups, they will excommunicate you faster than the Catholic Church will.
Any of those left-wing groups.
Yeah, but
toe the line.
Yeah. All of a sudden they have all the pronouns. Yeah. Yep. Steve, I'm the same way. Yep. I used to listen to them religiously, quote unquote, and I used to be part of a local group, and I would debate religious people, all this stuff, and then they just let the religion of the woke in. And this, and when I mean that it's a religion, it is, guys. It has the same like mantras and the same. It's really, really creepy. And yet they claim to be the people of logic and reason and all this foolishness, you know? And they don't realize, guys, that's why Andrew Wilson just totally murked Matt Dillahunty. Destroyed him, you know? Dillahunty got up and walked out. He's like, say hi to your. He says, say hi to your husband, man. because Matt Dillahunty married a.
Oh God.
And guess who most of the people are that are sick of this? The young men, the ones who are being told by those people that they're the bad ones. So what does feminism need to do? Start fucking listening to the problems that men are facing and stop pretending that they don't exist, because inequality can exist for both sexes. Check out leading male inequality experts like Richard Reeves. Check out the American Institute for Boys and Men. Check out the all-party political group for boys and men. Start looking into the crisis of masculinity. You can read
and stop being so delusional, because there's one thing that these 304s want is to have their cake and eat it too. They want to have betas around the rest of the world, but then somehow find an alpha to marry. They want to make money and all this stuff, and then somehow when time comes to marry, they want a guy who makes more money than them, obviously, and has all the traits to be a successful man, but then is okay with not leading the marriage. They want to have kids. They want to find a guy who's successful, has all the traits to make him a successful guy, who wants to just basically have a freaking womb and DNA, who wants to meet some chick that'll pop out his kids and then pay someone else to raise them. Why would any guy go for that? Why?
Fantastic article by a feminist author called Christine Ember in the New York Times discussing the problems that men are facing. Because when more feminists start taking male inequality seriously too, because it is not beneficial to society as a whole, then we will have less of this divide. Men are not collectively bad as an entire gender, but I'll tell you who are collectively bad: people who believe that they are. And what will those people often identify themselves as? The word begins with an F. What?
Yep, it's true. Now, guys, where's that one knuckleheaded broad that was talking about? Where is it? I made a video about this chick, and she was like, "We're the first generation to be able to blah 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 blah." Hold on.
Oh yeah.
Where is it?
She talked like women just got the right to vote.
Oh, guys, here you go. I'm gonna do a video on these chicks saying men don't approach. Oh, hey, Walk, you're just in time, buddy. Yo, you're just in time, Playboy.
Hey, y'all. So I just learned 3 things.
Translation needed.
Okay, 3 things. I put up 2 fingers that let you know I'm tired today. I learned 3 things from TikTok. I learned that the reason why men don't approach me. Okay, so the first reason could be is that I have an RBF. Okay. And at first I was like, what is an RBF? Yes, your girl had to Google it. I did, because I'm like, what is an RBF? Of course they're gonna tell us what an RBF is. A RBF is a resting bitch face. Okay.
Hey, we need to change that to rest in B-dub face.
Sleep well. We need a translation, AJ.
Nah, she's not that big. It's size more than anything else. You know what I'm saying?
Apparently I got a resting bitch face. I don't think I have a resting bitch face.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Please.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked.
Let us stray.
Wow. All the time. Okay. Secondly, the reason why a man will not approach me in public is because they are intimidated because they see what type of car I drive.
A lie detector determined that was a lie.
Yeah, because he probably drives an Infinity because women are the only ones dumb enough to still drive those things. Guys, you know Infinity hasn't had a new model they finally have a new QX. They haven't had a new model in like 14 years. They've been selling the same cars for like 14 years. You know
and they're all just crappy Nissans.
Yeah.
Well, you don't need to approach me anyway. Okay. Third, the reason why they do not approach it in public because they are intimidated by how you look. Your appearance intimidates them.
Yeah, you're ugly.
Why? Because you look like a middle linebacker? Because you look like you can run the A gap? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
You know, how you dress and how you carry yourself. And I'm like, well, I thought all men like nice looking women. I thought.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Oh yeah. And she thinks she qualifies.
Lie detector detected that was a lie.
My thing is be presentable at all times. You will not catch me outside with a bonnet on. You may catch me outside with some slides on, but you won't catch me outside with a bonnet on. Okay. You won't catch me outside without my
give her that.
on, and I will be nice. You know, this is something I get on my daughter daily because she bonnet queen like girl.
Of course.
Single mother.
Of course. Her daughter. Right, guys.
You didn't have sex. Now you're a single mom. Now you're a single mom.
Like that. To the fact that my son knows, don't go outside with no bonnet on your head. You know what I'm saying? So
guys, I see that more and more. These young guys wearing bonnets, dude.
Yeah.
What kind of knucklehead beta male sent moron
beta male
stuff is that, dude?
I don't get it, man. I remember now when we were young, we always wore like wave caps. But now that you're right, they're wearing bonnets, man. It's disgusting. It's disgusting how effeminate these young dudes are, man. Like I look at them and I just want to vomit.
Yeah, it's disgusting, dude. You know, painting their nails, friggin' wearing bonnets, how are you gonna have skinny jeans that are sagging off you? How you got sagging skinny jeans? That don't make no sense.
Even the cadence, the way they talk. You know how females always
like 304 talk.
Yep.
Yes.
Just TikTok talk.
Yeah. Here it is. So guys, here we go. Hold on.
So can I say one thing about this English dude right here? You know what amazes me about English dudes is like they sit here and they whine about feminism and feminists every day. There's one way they could easily put it into it. Whoop their ass. Yeah, why do you have a whole country full of men that are scared of women? It baffles me.
Cooked. The UK is cooked. Hey, Walk, did you see earlier when I showed that the police were like, we're in England, they were saying that if a person says you need to speak English, that it's HATE crime. Actually, Governor, you got to have them to speak English there, Governor.
Even worse. Did you see what they did with that one? I think she was some sort of political person over there, but she spoke out against the immigrants that were doing all the graping.
Yeah.
And said they need to go back to the country. They put her in jail, and she was a politician.
Happens all the time. Yeah. Here we go, guys. Look at this.
We're talking about two things in this question. We're talking about the mother wound as well as patriarchy. And so a mother wound is when you do not have the relationship with a good enough mother. That's the term we use in therapy, where you feel loved, accepted, and safe. And when you don't have that, that is sort of like a compass that leads you in a direction to where you're trying to get that from the people in your life. And we're talking about men, they're trying to get that maternal love from the women in their life. And because they don't like to have needs, because patriarchy tells them they shouldn't have needs, now they resent what they need the most, which is love that they didn't receive. We're talking about
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
And using that logic, a selfish 304 who didn't love her kid enough is still what created the whole problem anyways.
But guys, isn't it funny though? Once again, this is why you don't ever date therapists, guys. You damn sure don't go see one.
Yeah, not a female one.
Not a female one.
The funny part about it is she paid probably about $180,000 to get a piece of paper.
To learn that.
She paid $180,000 to be this stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at this. These stupid glasses. You know what I'm saying? Look at that. It took me therapy to heal my mother wound. The abuse and neglect was wild, to say the least. Look at that.
Beta!
that sums up my husband in a nutshell. Look at that, guys.
Beta girl.
Come on, man. Look at that. My father hated his mother, thus women. He has 6 daughters he didn't raise. Maybe your freaking mom shouldn't have let father nug blast up the club. What are you doing? Look at that. Look at that. Look at that, guys. All these chicks. Look at that. And what's funny is, guys, hold on. Pump the brakes. How many of these chicks will say, "Oh yeah, you have to, you always know how a guy is by how he treats his mom, and we need to treat moms with respect, and moms are important, and blah 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 blah." Right? All this
always was a black queen, mama.
Foolishness stuff, right? But then they marry a guy, and all of a sudden they say he's the mama's boy.
Yeah.
He's a son's husband. He's the mama's boy. He's this. He's that. What do you want, right? What do you want? Man, these chicks.
All you have to do especially when it comes to B-dubs, all you have to do is blame men for something, and it's like throwing up the bat signal for them.
Yeah, red flag or bull.
I tell you guys, I'm allergic. I carry an EpiPen just in case of B-dub.
Snowboarder said he'd take them all.
No way again. Colin left because he's on his way to a B-dub's house right now. He's gonna go to Keisha's house and wherever you are, Colin, wrap it up, Playboy.
Yep. Hit it and quit it. Get out.
Seriously, man. All right, here we go.
So
look at this
oh
guy
God!
Right,
you can't even spell it right.
Look at this. Look at this guy right here. Look at him. Look at this guy.
Recently, I was asked a really good question.
Can't even spell it right.
And the question was, why am I a feminist as a man?
What are you getting?
And I thought this question was really good because, we should really know why we believe what we believe. You should reason with yourself why you believe what you believe. So I'm going to explain why I am a feminist as a man. I have 3 reasons, so I'm going to do them in multi-parts. I know I said in the past I don't really like multi-part TikToks, but I have really extensive answers, so therefore I have
get to the point.
Yeah, get to the point.
Why can't you spell feminist? Guys, it's FEMINIST. You put FEMENST.
He's different.
Why can't you spell feminist? Reading is essential. No, reading is fundamental. Smiley face again. Post.
See the first comment too?
This is one of my favorite things to do is to go through YouTube and TikTok and just scroll them. It's too easy.
Deep fried, man. Deep fried.
What's up, man? I didn't even see you raise your in here. Did I? What's up, man? Good to see
multi-part videos, but follow along if you're really interested in, my answer.
Me being
But
gay.
in this first part, I'm going to
that they say the reason why people have a gap in their teeth is because they suck on too many things.
I didn't know that.
This is pretty wide.
And he doesn't look like it's a crack pipe either.
That's what his social life is. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Guys, you know how many of these people that I put comments on? And I'll go back to try and find other videos and they block me.
Same thing to me too. They do the same thing to me too.
talk about my personal relationships with women and how they have led me to take on a feminist stance. Yeah. So let's just start off with the fact that I was raised by a single mother.
You don't say. Really?
Surprise.
Single mom? Him? Really?
So much.
No.
But on top of that, I was also raised in a house of 3 sisters, of which I hold my relationships, with very close.
Shocking.
And to add on top of that, a lot of my friendships that I had growing up were with women and
You're not surprising us, buddy boy.
girls, like I just connected closely with girls more than I did so with guys. I was more in touch with my feminine energy than I was with my masculine energy, still am. And it's just the way I was brought up, And not only that, a lot of I got bullied all throughout elementary, middle school. It really
yeah, no kidding.
It didn't take.
They didn't beat it out of them.
A lot of my perpetrators were men.
I was
ostracized by men my entire life. So I could relate to women on like how atrocious men are. I could relate.
Trans these nuts.
I would not say on the same extent because I think that just being a woman comes inherently with like a different perspective of.
Pyro, this is what do you guys call these guys?
Gal clone.
No, it starts with a B, right? What is it?
Gay.
No. There's a Jamaican term. What is it? What is it?
Oh, a Batman.
Batty boy. Batty boy.
That's it.
Batty boy.
The Batty boy or Batman.
You guys know why I appreciate Jamaicans into the dated aliens, and they're like, would you rather have a daughter who's a 304 or a son who's a Batman? They're like, nah, my daughter can come around by Batman beyond all saving.
Was it Buju Banton that had a number one hit?
Yeah, that song that's a banger.
Unaliving them, and nobody said a word.
Yeah, that's a banger too, man. I don't care. Well, you know what that song means? As if all these songs that these rappers here be saying
Are about good stuff, yeah.
Are any worse. Hey, well, you know what though? Hold on, guys. Hold on. Pump the brakes. Henry, snowboard. You probably aren't old enough, but Henry Walk Pyro. Do you remember when Shabba Ranks was everywhere?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
He was everywhere. What happened to his career? What was the one moment where all of the United States and the UK all said,
"How dare you?"
Right?
Oh yeah.
Honestly, I don't remember. It's just like he was here today and gone the next day. I don't remember what happened.
Right, Pyro?
Yeah, I was wondering, like, he just disappeared. What did he say anything
He did an
controversial?
interview basically saying, look, the Bible says no LDHG TV stuff, so I don't believe in it either. Hold on, ranks, interview.
Oh.
Here it is.
So he got outed. He got blacklisted because
where is it? Here it is, the interview.
Unsolved Vault. And today we're going to talk about an interview that Shabba Ranks gave in 1992 that derailed his career and changed dancehall.
Yeah, so like he had. Where's the one?
It was like in the 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Would you back?
Yeah.
Freedom of speech.
So yeah, she's like, look, I don't believe in any of this stuff.
He was asked about Buju Banton's song Boom Bye Bye.
Yeah, see?
Yeah,
So he was saying,
yeah.
how do you feel about the Booster song? He's like, hey, it is what it is. Yeah. Look at that.
Shabba, are you a Buju Banton fan?
You know about the Buju Banton song,
It's always an English dude, man. It's always an English dude.
Always.
What did you think of that piece?
Well, most definitely right now, I'm out of Jamaica and I'll be on the supporting side here.
See? No, what's wrong with that? Guys, here's the thing. First, this is how crazy it is. If the wokey wokes are correct and there's a supremacy, how is it they put themselves in position? The LDHD TVs are whites that are giving themselves the power to cancel blacks, therefore be racist.
Mhm.
Isn't it funny how that works, guys? Isn't it funny?
Yeah. Because we as blacks have the power to pull the race card. We could cause chaos in that community if we wanted to.
Yes, and guys, here's the thing. The LDHD TVs are very, very racist. Very, very.
Oh,
guys,
yeah.
it's the only people that I pull the race card on are the wokey wokes. Because, guys, a lot of these white chicks and stuff, they'll be like, yeah, and you can go, I'm black, and they're like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. You know, their whole argument, like that. That's why any conservative who might be like, an LDHD TV dude or black or whatever, their only argument is you are a white guy. Well, if you're not a white guy, then their arguments fall apart. That's like all these women who are pro-life. You don't have a JJ, and they're like, and then a pro-life woman comes and they're just like, well, because they don't have any arguments,
All Jamaicans be concerned are people with progress. Well, within this world, people be living the way they feel like they want to live.
And he's just trying to say, I'm a Christian, yeah, intersectionality.
Yeah, eats itself.
So that's why white women hate intersectionality more than anyone else, because they try to do the whoop-de-whoop and say that all these cisgender hetero white men are bad. But the moment you add race, all of a sudden they're the bad guys too.
Yeah.
They're the most privileged group of people that have ever walked God's green earth. Are upper middle class, upper class, college educated white women.
Boom.
Yep.
And
more protected than bald eagle.
Have a free will to move about. You got.
So yeah, but this is what did it, guys. I'll put the link in the description, so I don't want the screen to be taken down. This is
I remember it now that you show it. I just I remember it now.
He disappeared, man. He disappeared.
Yeah. He was like the hottest thing out, and then like next thing's like, where did Shabba go?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to.
But you know what the funny thing about it is Buju Banton is still relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After getting out of jail, Buju was in jail,
and he made another song about the Bantu Boys.
Yeah.
I think they even interviewed him, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm not backing down from it."
He did got in trouble for it, but he still didn't want to back out.
Yeah. Yep.
And treat you. And so, but I definitely could relate on to like how, atrocious they are.
Shut up, dude. I'm sorry. I just
Yeah, I was going to say one thing
All right, here we go.
regarding the Buju Banton and Shabba thing. So they both said stuff about that community, right? The only difference is Buju Banton didn't back down. Now in the military, we have this thing called we have this saying called "If you're wrong, stay wrong," and that's exactly what Buju Banton did. He's like, "Well, you think I'm wrong? I'm going to stay wrong."
Yeah. Now, guys, here it is. Here we go. Wait.
I used to get on my girl all the time about watching these reality shows, but then she broke it down to me one day, said like she really watches it because they're entertaining. But then I got introduced to the red pill videos. Talk about going down a rabbit hole. I never seen so much malarkey in my goddamn life. I get it.
Beta! Right there. Right there. Look at this guy. Yeah? Guys, put a 1 if you agree. He will get got. He will get got. He's going to be crying, saying that he found out that one of his kids isn't his. He's going to be in child support court. He's going to get got. He's going to find his bank account, clear it out. He's going to get got, you know?
There's always going to be women that want more than they're putting out, that think their beauty and that kitty is all they need, and you got to shower them with money, gifts, take care of all their responsibilities, regardless of her past or body count. Some of these red pill videos seem like that's the only type of woman there is. But yeah, there's always been, women that want more and do less, and there's always been men that's willing to give them that. There's always been guys that their money is their personality. And that was it. But some of these red pill videos, man, I just sit there and just be like, what the fuck? How do we fall so far? Like, it's really chicks out here claiming shit that they know they ain't got no business claiming. And there's really dudes out here stating shit that they need to have several seats. These red pill videos, man, it's just like, I don't remember dating being so complicated. We had chicks that, was all about the money. And if you didn't have no money, they wasn't trying to holler at you. Cool. There was plenty of chicks that wanted what you was putting out. They wanted a hardworking dude. They wanted the honest dude. They wanted the dude that come home to them and put them first, and y'all can build together. These red pill videos and all these videos where they talking about, I'm not going half and half and this and that. And you got some guys that be like, yeah, man, she take care of everything. Then you got some women that's like, we a team. We here to help each other. A lot of people want tradition, but ain't traditional. It's not that hard. If you want tradition, then be traditional. But if you're not going to be traditional, then you get what you get. And this is your uncle's favorite uncle. Hey, Uncle Tuck. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, follow, comment. And until next time, peace.
Uncle Tuck. Yeah, we know exactly what you're tucking too.
Yeah, He's done.
Let's go. And look at this moron.
Some people are really fucking stupid.
What are you talking about? This middle of the road, neutral kind of woo-woo foolishness. Guys, this is the type of person.
He actually didn't really say anything of any value. Yeah.
She's a female. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on. Let's be honest, right? Guys, here's the thing. Guys, when it comes to this young men in America, guys, this is warfare. This is us versus them. And they made it this way.
Mm-hmm.
When you are red pill, MGTOW, black pill, you are drawing a clear line in the sand and saying there's everyone over there and then there's us. Right? Or here, you're just accepting that they've told us that. There's them over there, then there's us. You're just seeing where the line is and building the wall. Right, guys? That's all you're doing.
I've said it so many times that they don't understand that they created a battlefield. And when they created the battlefield, there were going to be men on the other side of that battlefield that were willing to die on that battlefield.
Yeah. Yep. And for the wrong side. And what we always ask them,
does God know you're gay?
Feminism is
now, guys. Once again, you see all these young black dudes getting in on this, and you could tell, dude has a little bit of extra
Nug, nug.
marshmallows in his Lucky Charms, man.
Why are you gay?
Look at this guy. This is freaking marshmallow nug right over here. You know what I'm saying? What is going on, dude? How?
Why are you gay? Is a direct expression of your masculine insecurity.
Direct.
And like anti-feminism is a direct expression of your masculine insecurity.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
What?
And like the more I think about what feminism actually represents and things like that, the more it confuses me that there are so many people that are opposing to this idea of choice. Anti-feminism.
It's not about choice. Or else you wouldn't have these feminists getting on the women who they know that actually do.
Red pill is about choice.
Yes, but guys, so I know two guys that I used to work with. Both have their PhDs, both make good money, and both of them. But there's two guys. Their wives had PhDs too, but both of them had families and had 3 kids, and they had decided that their wife should stay home because a daycare was too expensive. So they moved out of the city and lived in the suburbs or in a rural area. And then the husband, he would commute to work, and they lived off of his salary, and the wife stayed home, and it worked. And guys, you know who was talking the most crap? You know who said, "How dare you?" You know who said that? All the female friends.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you worked hard to get your PhD, and then you would have. But all the money's going to go to daycare.
Yep.
And put your kids first. You want your kid at some daycare with,
pervert
garbage daycare. Yeah, you don't get to raise your kid.
$2,200 per child a month for daycare. So she gets a job making $70,000 a year. Her whole check goes to daycare.
Yep. What's the point?
Ridiculous.
You should want to raise your kid. That's if you're having a kid, you should want to actually spend as much time as possible with it.
Yeah, because
especially as the mom.
Once they grow old, they're not gonna get really attached to you because you're supposed to grow your own kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of outsourcing to friggin' Consuela, who's making $7
High all day texting nug nug.
Or friggin' or there's fentanyl on the
Fentanyl on the floors, yeah.
Or they're having friggin' toddler fight club. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
right. The betting ring.
Look at that. Here you go, guys.
It's men's fault that women get periods. And my dick is evil. Yeah, I think a woman should get paid the same as a man for the same job. Of course, women have the right to smoke while they're pregnant. I mean, provided they haven't burnt the dinner for that day. I mean, if they've done that, it's men's.
And then, guys, watch. Okay. Is feminism. Guys, now, I want all of you white men to pay attention. Every single white guy in the chat, I need you to stop, and I need you to understand what this guy is saying, okay? Because he looks like the guy this Asian guy is talking to is a goof, but he's this is your defense. Okay.
Still relevant in society today. Feminism was kind of built, the movement itself was built in racism. White women were upset at the fact that black men got the privilege to vote before they did, and that's kind of what spearheaded the feminism movement.
Not true.
Historically, who have been left out.
Huh? What's that?
That's not true.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
They had women vote earlier.
No.
There was
Black
some
got the vote in
women.
1866, man.
Yes. Here's the thing. There was
They
women.
had some. But
Yeah, they had some women in like New Jersey, Wyoming, area, Connecticut were voting at the state level or at the county level. Yes, but because they own property. There was women voting before universal mail stuff.
Yep.
But it was in small bits, which still blows the whole feminist argument out of the water because there was women voting before all men could, right? But in general, the suffragettes were the most racist people ever. I brought this up on this channel multiple times.
A lot of them were lesbians.
Yeah, they were lesbians who hated black people.
Yep.
Hated them.
Upper class white women.
Thank you very, 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 very much. Guys, always use the race card when it comes to these white feminists. That Henry Snowboard, have you guys ever heard the whole womanism thing? But they were like, we're womanists because feminism steeped in racism. So black women have to be womanists and any real ally.
Oh my God.
Feminism is dead. Now we're womanists. what I'm saying?
Even worse.
That's where that comes from, because they can't escape the fact that when the suffragettes were doing a big march, they needed to get the Southern segregationist white women on their side. So they othered the black women the day of like their big march. The black women had to march in the back.
Mm-hmm.
They sold them out, and these B-dubs still show up for them. Clown world.
Wow.
This guy is absolutely true.
Out of that movement, I mean, it's very much white women focused. So women of color have kind of been left out of the conversation. I don't want to sit here and be canceled because I'm saying no, I'm not a feminist. I'm saying that I don't believe in how the movement started. I do believe in what it brought to women in society, but I think that there is also, like everything in society, holes that leave other underrepresented groups out.
There it is.
Bingo.
Guys, Henry snowboard.
That's gold.
There's your ace in the hole.
That's gold.
And then,
well, are you surprised? Because those upper class white women, they are some of the most racist people. They just do it covertly.
Awfuls.
Look at this.
The awfuls.
Yeah.
What is womanist? Respectfully, never heard of it. And does it include trans people? Excellent question. A womanist is a black feminist or a feminist of color. The term was coined in 1979 by the illustrious writer, poet, and activist Alice Walker. And then in 1983, in her seminal text, In Search of Our Mother's Gardens, Womanist...
Why is she so sweaty?
Looks like he's oiled up.
Offers an exquisite four-part definition of womanist.
From the movie Wicked.
Right? Yeah.
Now, definition number 3 is my absolute favorite, and I highly encourage you to go Google the term womanist so that you can read it. But in the interest of today's conversation, since I'm introducing the concept of womanism, I want to use definition number 4. The fourth definition of womanist states, womanist is to feminist as purple is to lavender. Let's unpack that. If we're honest,
that's meaningless.
Ourselves, feminism was created for and by white women. And what Alice Walker is saying is that lavenderhood is insufficient for the liberation of all Black women and femmes. And so what we need is what Dr. Stacey Floyd Thomas calls a deeper shade of purple. We need a liberation model and a framework of an ethic that centers the experiences, perspectives, and vantage points of Black women. Because in the words of one of my comrades, Black women have never wanted a freedom that did not include everyone.
Baloney. Baloney.
You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
So Carlos says she looks like Wesley Snipes and Demolition Man.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Fellas, do you remember that she said something about purple?
I think she was talking about my purple dick vein.
Remember that? If you remember that, the dude in the purple dress, and his dad is bringing him to the prom.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
What is this?
What a joke. Hold on, we'll do one more here.
Demolition Man is a really great movie. Demolition Man, it predicts a lot of things that actually
Guys, look at
like
all
happening.
these chicks talking about womanism. I mean, you see a common theme here?
Yeah.
They're all B-dubs.
Whoa!
Typical
Wait a
defense.
minute.
Oh my God!
Wait a minute. Pump the brakes. As a biblical scholar, we're going to talk about womanism? What?
As a biblical scholar, I define womanism as it appears in the theological disciplines, since that is my context as a seminary professor.
What?
This is all going to be garbage.
Please kill Jabba to shut up.
What is going on? Guys. Guys, this is why men have left the church. Right here.
Yeah. Let's hear what she has to say.
There's no ism that's part of Christianity.
Right.
That's the most important part, that it's supposed to not have that.
Pastors learn the theological disciplines of theology, biblical studies, ethics, and pastoral care. Therefore, there are womanist theologians, there are womanist biblical scholars, there are womanist ethicists, there are womanist pastoral theologians. We seek to bridge head and heart in our work while we think about the communities that sent us. Finally, most of us take our definition from Alice Walker's In Search of Our Mother's Gardens.
When you should be taking inspiration from your husband and the church and Jesus.
Right.
Yeah.
Is she not summing
Dumping
up
a hoe in the garden?
Everything wrong with these women nowadays, right? So Alice Walker is Christ to her. Instead of taking inspiration from the biblical teaching, she's talking about Alice Walker. Thank you, Apocalypse. Blasphemer. Yep.
We are Black feminists or feminists of color who are courageous, audacious. We
smelly, ugly, loud, annoying.
The lie detector determined that
appreciate our lived experiences, and that's
lived
as
experiences.
we do our research. We love women's culture. We love women's emotional flexibility. We love women's strength, even as we love our own individual men.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
And we are traditional universalists, meaning we desire that everyone experiences liberation. We love the music, we love the dance, we love food, we love the spirit, we love roundness.
Well, that's
what? Yeah, we know.
Yeah. We know you love roundness.
Yeah.
We
You love
our
fried
folk.
chicken.
We love ourselves, and we are deeper shades of purple, meaning deeper shades of feminism. So that is a good book to look at by State.
As a Christian, isn't there only one book that you should be looking at?
Yeah.
Dunderhead. What an absolute moron. What are you
And she just said a whole bunch of nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
With
They're
buzzwords.
All these womanist chicks.
They want everybody to be liberated. From
Yeah.
what? From what?
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at that.
Define woman. Go, please.
This is that one chick from New York who's a lesbian, but now she's like a conservative because she's like, if the whole transformer thing is erasing lesbians, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's true. It's true. So let's see here.
Is feminism still relevant?
Let's see. What's this guy saying? Oh wait.
I've had a few specific times in my life where something my husband did made me say, but I thought you were a feminist, and really surprised me.
Anything that benefits her.
Look at that, dude. Look at that. Why would you marry this?
And I bet one of the things that her husband does that makes her question if he's a feminist or not is he stands up and pees.
Dave Payne, what's up, dude? I think he said that he's in Great Britain, right? Yeah. As all you guys in Great Britain.
It's suiting his name is Payne.
And
He's in it right now.
yeah, man, you guys are cooked, man. I don't know how you guys are. I don't understand it, guys. It's bad over there.
Sorry,
but it's spread here. Did you see the law?
Hold on, Dave. I said walk. It's bad here, but like we are very hyperbolic about how bad things are here. Things aren't really that bad here. Like we play it up because it's funny. Every single like hyperbole that we do, the UK is in it right now. I'm serious. Like we banter and joke about men being cooked and woke and stuff. Like, guys, beyond our wildest dreams, the UK is cooked.
Oh yeah. No doubt about that. But what I'm saying is some of those, it's slowly coming here. Because did you see the article about Texas that I posted in Discord?
Yeah. But here's the thing, though. You can move out of Texas and go to Alabama, Georgia, Florida. The entire UK is cooked. And then,
Right.
if you remember that the UK has a national church. So guys, the government supports LDHTV, so the church has to support it too. They have no choice. They have no choice at all.
And they're deeper into 1984 Big Brother stuff. It's just
This is why
there.
these people who are like, I want to be a Christian nationalist state. What if the government, the knuckleheads in charge, get in charge? You know what I mean? Then what? Then the church has to go by friggin' what AOC or Knucklehead Harris and these bozos would say, you know? So this is why
feminism is a virus, right? 20 years ago, you would have never had any politician in Texas willing to even entertain the notion of putting a man on child support while a baby is still in the womb, right? Because paternity hasn't been established, right? But when you had all those feminists and those wokes leave California and go to Texas, that virus spread to Texas. Now, you talk to any Texan right now, they'll tell you Texas was on the verge of going blue in every election because of them, because they're leaving Texas and they're buying up all the real estate too. So soon, all those wokes who had property in California and sold it off, well, they sold their property for hundreds of thousands, and they went to Texas and they bought a lot of real estate cheap, so they own everything.
Yeah,
Austin,
Austin's bad, but Texas went red by a lot this year, and also too, all it is making money. Yeah, guys, think the court fees, all these costs, these judges, and all these, they're making. Once again, it's a small group of men using the government and women to redistribute wealth from us to them. That's all it is.
I agree. It doesn't negate the fact that the feminism is going to eventually affect the entire state of Texas and move on accordingly. It's like you just talked about the church. It's already affected all the churches here in this country.
And hey, Walk, which church did it start in first?
Oh, it started with us.
Yep, yes it did. We had good old Pastor Pork Chop up there.
Yep, Pastor Pork Chop.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Pastor Pork Chop and Deacon Pig Feet.
Yeah. And Deacon Dick him down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Straight up, dude. Yeah, look at that.
The first was that I proposed to my husband.
Whoa! Look at that. She proposed to him. Look at that. Wow.
Beta. Just one of those people that when I want something, I just like ask.
And of course, she has the bull ring in her nose.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say like always, but I really have a hard time with like the female in a heterosexual relationship that really wants something and just complains to their friends about it and drops hints and everything, but doesn't just like straight up say what they want. And so I wanted to get married, and I didn't want to like be upset or complain about how my boyfriend at the time wasn't proposing to me. I just like don't play games like that in a relationship very well. I just don't enjoy it. So I wanted to get married. So I was like, well, I'm going to propose to him. And it didn't really go well. Like,
you think? You dummy. How did you think it was going to go? You moron.
You stupid woman.
Married. And he was in the end happy and like wanting to get married. And he did say, yeah.
Yeah, because you peg him every night.
Yes. The initial reaction, which I know had a lot to do with the surprise and the shock of it. But really, that's sort of inherent in like kind of the patriarchy as well, because he was like so shocked that I had proposed.
Because it made him look like guys, without swearing or using any bad, too bad. All right, guys. What do you think it made him feel like? Guys, come on, please don't put anything too crazy in the chat. Yeah, a beta, a chick, you know,
or a mark,
boy.
an easy mark, like he might get exploited, you know.
Diesel says that if guys, hold on, let's pump the brakes here, right? Henry, Snowboard, Walk, Pyro, what's wrong with this statement? If I was white and lived in the UK,
Poland is one of the most feminist places you could ever go.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
No, I think Poland would be not.
Poland's Poland
Yeah.
left far to the right, dude. They freaking chased out the LDHD TVs.
I'd go to Hungary
the
first.
border. Yo, they. You
Well, he's got
remember?
a UK in there. That's one of the worst places you could ever go.
Listen. It says if I was white and lived in the UK.
Yeah, UK. Yeah,
Guys,
yeah.
UK. Listen, I guess if you're using it as the UK itself, as like, but UK people are not white. White is a very American concept. Okay, because I've said it once before. In the United States, we don't go by ethnicity, we go by nationality and then by race. Everywhere else in the world, it's ethnicity.
Yep,
Okay?
either Irish, Scottish, or something.
The British,
yeah.
I mean, the English are not white, they're English.
Yeah.
The Scottish are not white, they're Scottish. That's how it works. Now, if a Scottish person's great-grandparents moved here back in 1885, then they go to Scotland. Like, you aren't Scottish, you are white. You are an American. You're a Yankee. So therefore, whiteness became an actual thing. But I don't like the fact because people try and use the same arguments. Guys, okay, walk Pyro. How many times have you heard these B-dubs on like Pearly Things show back in the day? Or all these British. You know, it's all about Jim Crow and about slavery. There was no Jim Crow in the UK.
Yeah,
what are you talking about? There's no slavery in the UK. What are you talking about? We need reparations for what? For what?
And they talk about the civil rights movement. What civil rights movement in England?
What are you? And there was houses and dogs chasing us. It was crazy. What are you talking about?
Bro, they want to be victims so bad.
So bad, yes. Why are they so? Guys, I swear to God. Why? Guys, hit the like button. I'd appreciate that. You know, but yeah. So guys, once again,
the UK was so bad they moved there.
Yeah. And guys, they still do well, despite the fact that they're only 3% of the population. 3. And guys, Pyro, you didn't see the Walk was there, Snowball. Do you guys remember when those knuckleheads, those like black immigrants to Finland, were like, "We need to do more for
they're like running the place now."
Finland, you absolute morons! How are people so fucking stupid?
It's insane.
I swear to God, if I had hair, I'd pull it out.
It's a good grift. It's actually a good grift.
Guys, why? Why, guys? The only thing that just gets me out, I don't ever get mad. But I just get Noble One. No, this is not correct. This whole no,
it's not. It's not. It wasn't. It wasn't Bob Marcus.
Whiteness was invented because the United States, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand are the only countries on Earth where there's no historical majority that's in charge. That there's no ethnicity linked to the nationality. Anyone can come here and get their citizenship and be an American. Snowboard Henry Walk and I can go to China and we will never be Chinese. We will never be Nigerian. We will never be Mongolian. We will never be Polish. Therefore, when you say that you are an American, they say, well, are you Asian? Are you white? Are you black? Right? That's where that concept comes from, is we don't have an ethnic, we have a stronger national identity. Our national identity matters more than anything else. And then comes race, you know? But that's unique to America and Canada, Australia, New Zealand. Everywhere else, guys, most of the countries in the world are homogeneous. 95% of the population is one group of people. So they don't have the same issues. Guys, America is the most diverse country on the face of the planet. We're the only place on Earth where you can find people from every single country on Earth. In America, I don't care what these wokey say, what all these knuckleheads say, America does the most to bridge the gap between minorities and the majority. You guys think Japan cares about minorities? You think China cares about minorities? You think anywhere else in the world cares? Are you serious? Guys, the Chinese are rounding up the Muslims and the Christians and putting them in camps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? This is the only place on earth, not only as a minority can you go wherever you want and do whatever you want, right? But guys, you can come here illegally.
And say whatever you want.
You can come here illegally and live life, work, raise a family or whatever, and live
have the
perfectly.
same rights as the citizens.
Yeah, we're the only country on earth where you can do that. You think you could do that in China, Japan, Korea, Poland, Madagascar? No. I guess my whole point is, guys, all these people talking, guys, here, the panel, cook with me here. Guys, tell me if you think this is true, and guys, let me know if you agree in the chat. Put a yes. So the biggest problems with progressives is that they ignore the progress that's been made. They act like no progress has been made. You know what I'm saying? They're so progressive that they can't stop and take it. I've talked to blacks where they act like things are just as bad with racism as when my mom that they're experiencing what my mom that grew up in the Jim Crow South dealt with.
They try to convince me that I'm being discriminated against. I'm like, wait a minute.
What are you talking about?
I'm in the top 1% of earners in the world. How am I being oppressed?
Yes. Yep. Here's the thing. And Pyro, have you ever had? Well, Pyro, maybe not much. But anyone black in the comment, have you ever had a white chick try and woke explain oppression to you?
Yes.
Yes.
I hate that so much.
Yes. When the Orange Man ran first term, I had a chick that I was cool with in the Navy, and it broke her heart that I was voting for. Even when I laid out all the reasons why logically that I was voting for him, she literally pulled a bite on me. Well, you must not be black.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Well, you don't know what's best for you. She knows what's best for you.
Where is it?
It's funny you say that, Snowboarder, because she actually said that.
Here it is.
Not even joking. Not even
Joe
joking.
Biden said it. Joe Biden said it. If you ain't voting for me, you ain't black.
Here it is.
Here's what happened. I approached her and I said, I'm trying to understand why you're supporting Trump. Okay. And then I said, you're brown skinned. What do you think's going to happen to you?
Why would you say something like that?
Because she is brown skinned. And that's what the racists are doing.
Okay, I'm not talking politics with you. I want to know, did you put your hands on somebody?
I put my hand up on her chin like that.
So because she's black and she decided to vote one way, Granny Knucklehead said, "How dare you?" and then decided to put hands on her.
But she's not racist.
And they're calling the other side racist. Insane. John Carlo, dude, Dallas is a nice place to live. San Antonio is a nice place to live. I don't know who told you Dallas is full of lesbians. Where do you get your information from, dude?
Let me tell you, as somebody who lived very close to Dallas and used to hang out in Dallas, he's not far from the truth.
Well, but hold on. But here, you're talking about. He's saying even more so than San Francisco. Come on, dude. You know what I mean?
No, it's not quite. It's not quite that bad yet. But I'm telling you,
but still, like
the landscape is changing. It's changing.
It might be changing, but Dallas is a big city. It's not like you can just walk down and every 7 people, 7 out of 10 is LDH TV. It's still Texas.
I'll tell you the biggest thing that's happening in Dallas is a lot of the second and third generation Latinas, the Mexicans. They swallowed the feminist pill, right? So they're becoming more and more lesbian.
I would say, look, you're better off pretty much anywhere in Texas than friggin' California or Oregon or Washington State. Even Austin. Even Austin's better than friggin' Seattle or
You're better off
friggin'
jumping into a volcano than being in San Francisco.
yeah, man, come on, dude, seriously.
Wow.
You step on a needle and get the high five walking down the street in San Antonio.
Is that bad?
In San Francisco.
You can't do that.
Right, guys. Also, dude, just don't live in a big city. You know what I'm saying? You guys
Yeah,
want to
stay out in the country.
Yeah,
Yep.
yep.
That's what I do.
If
Yeah.
somebody comes up nose to nose with you and starts screaming at you, what do you do? But basically, my response was to push her away.
No, you cannot leave. You need to stay here. Okay. Over there. Okay. I want to hang with her. Let me talk to the other part. She admitted she put her hand on her chin. Somebody else punched
sense
her.
of entitlement.
Like close fist.
She came up from the backside and started accusing her of being a person of color and should not be supporting Trump. And I mean, she stepped in the face.
She came up to me and she read my shirt and she said, "You know that God doesn't like guns." And I said, "Well, you know, I'm not voting for Trump to be my pastor." And then she says, "And you should know better." Why?
Isn't that crazy, guys? Isn't that insane? Isn't that insane? Think of the audacity, right?
The entitlement.
The entitlement.
Yeah, it's nuts.
How stupid, guys! These knucklehead Harris supporters are like the vegans of politics. You know, vegans just won't shut up, and they can't handle the fact you will let them be vegan, but they will not let you enjoy your T-bone. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And these are the same people that try to convince us that they were the side that saved us from slavery.
Yeah, right. Or even then, that they're on the side of logic and reason when they support. You know what I mean?
My skin color. I said, "You're a racist." And then she came up and she pushed me. Okay. And then she hit me in my freaking chin.
She demonstrated on me.
She pushed me in the chin. I had to go.
He can't
Did she actually make contact with you?
Yes, she did. She punched me.
Don't worry, guys. The Ponytail Patrol is here. Yay!
I didn't know that.
I just said she
Free fingernail polish for everybody.
I did. And I grabbed her hand.
After.
Yeah, but she still, and it was pretty forceful.
Yeah, it was forceful, but it's like, do you want to press charges? Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about. Press charges.
Yeah.
Good.
All these women sounded like the garlic crouton voice. Sort of.
You guys, make sure to hit the like button, guys. I did drop the join link to be a member, guys. Hit that. Guys, make sure to hit the like button, guys. We're at 99 likes, so let's hit the like button. Let me see here. Actually, let's go back here, and then we'll watch the rest of that.
His initial reaction wasn't like very happy. It was kind of like shock, and also like I think a bit upset that I'd taken it away from him, except that he wholeheartedly admitted that he had no intention of proposing to me anytime soon. So that was the first time that I was like, really surprised, and I thought he was like more of a feminist. The second time that I was really shocked was when we discussed like changing our names. So I was under the impression we'd been talking for a long time about like combining our last names.
No way. That she wants him to change his name? No.
She was hyphenated.
No way.
I say hyphenated.
One was to both hyphenate our last names with each other. So we talked about like what order to put them in.
Called it.
And then at some point, I think like closer to the wedding, it like got revealed that he was just like, "Wait, I'm not changing my name." He was actually like extremely opposed to changing his name.
No,
like couldn't fathom having to change his name, and had just assumed that all the conversation we were having was about my name and that I would hyphenate and maybe our kids would hyphenate. And this was just like wild to me that he couldn't fathom changing his own name, but like it seemed totally normal and fine for me to change mine. And then on top of that, his argument was essentially like, "You do whatever you want, and I'll do whatever I want, and then like it's fine."
There you go, guys. That's a perfect argument, guys. I don't know if my brother told this story on his channel, but he was dating this B-dub, and she was a hot red bone. You know what I'm saying? Hot.
Yeah.
But Pyro, I don't know if he told you this story, but she's like, I'm thinking about shaving my head, because I need to have new energy and all this other stuff. And he's like, that's fine, but I don't date chicks that have bald heads. Well, are you trying to say that I can't shave my head? He's like, no. You're going to decide to shave your head. And you can decide, and I'm going to make my decision. We're both deciding. We're both consenting adults, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wait, I feel like you're trying to say, like, no, you're going to make a decision, and I'm going to make my decision. There you go. And then she's like, well, I think we should stop having sex for like 7 months because I need to renew my energy and get my chakras. He's like, oh, that's fine, but I don't date girls. I don't date girls or hang out with girls that I'm not having sex with. So you're trying to say that I have to have sex? It's like, no, you're gonna make a decision to not have sex with me. I'm just saying that we're both gonna make a decision here. We're both gonna adults.
Play by her rule.
What's wrong with that? You're making your decision. I'm making mine. I just feel like you're trying to strong arm me. He's like, what are you? You're deciding that we're both consenting adults here.
Affect anyone. And so he was like, if you don't want to change your name, that's great. Don't change your name. But what he failed to understand is that for women, we're always affected no matter what choice we make. So either we take the man's name or we don't change our name. And not changing our name does not leave us unaffected. My mother-in-law didn't change her name. And to this day, she receives mail that is to like Mrs. and her husband's name. She gets misnamed.
Oh, misnamed, dude! Run! What are you talking?
Run! Go! Get to the chopper!
Misnamed, yeah, cis women. Was it college instructed speech? Is what we call
college
cis.
Indoctrinated.
College indoctrinated speech. Yeah, yep. Cis women. Yep.
By her husband's name constantly. People get confused about whether or not she's the parent of her kids because they don't have the same last name. And this is something I grew up with because I come from divorced parents who are both remarried. My mother always took her husband's names. So she took my stepdad's name. So growing up, we had different last names and my step siblings had different last names. And it always bothered me that people like didn't know that we were family, which was why I wanted to have the same last name as my whole family. And so I was explaining to him, like, that's fine. You don't change your name, then nothing changes for you. But if I don't change my name, I will forever be misnamed by your last name till the end of time. And people will question whether or not I'm the parent to my kids and all of this stuff. It was a whole conversation that he hadn't considered. And I just felt like,
oh my
I'm
God.
disappointed. My husband is very liberal, liberal in the American sense. He is very progressive, I would say. But I think that like there are some traditional values and traditional things in our society that just come ingrained in us that we have to unlearn. And a lot of
she just wants her way. Because guys, she can't stand the fact that men control access to marriage. And her husband, guys, rate him on the simp-o-meter, guys. Come on, right?
It's over 9,000.
It's over 9,000.
Guys, come on. Matter of fact, he's such a simp, he's gonna get the whole thing.
Vegeta, what does the scouter say about his power level? It's over 9,000.
I can't believe that she said all this to him prior to the marriage, and he still went through with it and married her.
Yeah,
What
he's
an idiot.
He's an idiot. Now, guys, we just hit 101 likes, guys. Thanks so much for that. And guys, thanks for all the members, guys. Thanks for all the super chats. Oh, I didn't read Henry's from a while ago. He said third and fourth wave feminism came in the 2000s. Yeah, I would say the late 90s and early 2000s. Yeah, you are correct, my friend. Yep.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I want my medication and I want my croutons, please.
One of the things. Where are we here?
Croutons.
You guys know where we have to go now, right?
That's 304.
Of course. Where are we here? Where's? Yeah.
Y'all want to ask me what I'm doing? I'm outside home. I work at Hoeing. Y'all want to know what company I work at? I work at Hoeing.
Yeah.
Girls who are. So there was a girl who made a video basically about how girls who are lying
Why is her voice deeper than mine?
Yeah, no kidding.
Look at this chick right here, man.
She said she turned her throat into a daycare center.
I'm going to show you where the wild goose goes.
Female Barry White.
On the internet claiming they do meetups right now and don't actually do meetups, and they're just robbing men for the deposit or whatever the meetup price, and that it's risking SW's lives and is causing men to unalive women. Now, the thing about it is we're currently in a male loneliness epidemic. So men are really, really desperate for coochie and punani. So men right now heavily rely on the SW industry. A lot of men do. If it wasn't for the SW industry, a lot of men wouldn't be getting coochie. And so men in general are more on edge and more violent right now because a lot of them are backed up. A lot of them are in sales. They're in sales. A lot of males are in sales. And a lot of them,
a lot of y'all are
their
homeless.
thingamabob is dry. They ain't getting no action. So they're angry, they're pent up, they're frustrated, and
car
their
sales,
best friend
furniture
has
sales?
been their hand. You know what I mean? So they really do rely on SW. So yeah, don't play with them right now, because if you keep
My hand
them for
doesn't
the
have the hurt.
deposits, they're going to be so angry by the time they actually get a real girl. They're going to unalive her. They're going to unleash their frustration on her. But not just on SWs. They're going to be unleashing their frustration on all women. They're not just going to be violent just to the SWs, although obviously being an SW is already a dangerous field of work and always has been. I say that as someone who did it myself, but I also robbed men. I did both things. I pretended to do.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine getting robbed by this thing? Guys, I can see that there's some guys who get got. There are some of these Ukrainian broads or Persian broads that are like nines, and the mobsters know that guys. A lot of guys, dude, she's so hot, bro. They get got. You know what I'm saying? Fine, but you're gonna get robbed by this. How big of a simp do you have to be, man? Look at this.
Meetups and rob men, and I actually, had a trick. Who's a rich white man?
Guys, she's actually admitting on the internet about committing crimes against men. It has no qualms whatsoever. Think about how insane that is.
I actually did meet with. You know what I mean? So, but this was before the male loneliness epidemic, and also I had a regular, I had a main trick.
Women have no idea how dangerous men can be. You are saying this after watching a video where this woman admitted to committing violent crimes against men. SMH. Violent crimes against men. Misandry is real.
Skis.
Post. This old rich white trick, and you would see him once in a blue. You know what I mean? So this was not, you know what I mean? But if you're actually on the sites, there's people out here that are trying to do this robbery trick that I used to do. And I don't think y'all understand. We're in a male loneliness crisis, right?
How about the fact that men aren't going to put up getting robbed? How about that? You think you can rob a good percentage of most men?
Let's see.
Especially in states like Texas and in Florida where dudes have the chopper on them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was just about to mention that. Who owns more firearms, men or women?
Look at this. Look at this. Them guys deserve to be robbed, to be honest. Plus, them dudes with unalive sex workers, regardless. Look at that. It's fucking Sorry, I didn't mean to cuss, guys. Cussing, dude. I'm so mad. Hold on. Where's the other one?
Come with me to work. Midnight Ballerina Edition.
Ugh.
If you ever wonder what's in my bag, pretzels, floss, pineapple juice, heels, outfits, all that.
All right.
Oh! Henry, dude, she's
God, I just threw up.
All you white guys, man, they don't want walking Pyro and I. No. And guys, I know Pyro. He was muted when she came on the screen. Pyro, I got you.
Spoiler, I didn't make anything.
I had to mute my stuff.
What is this?
What
tattoo
is that
she got? This jailhouse tattoo she got. Guys, if you're gonna get tattoos, have a pro do it. Don't just have your friend man with a friggin' prison tattoo gun trying to do a tattoo for you.
How much I made? This is what I made at the club. This is what I made.
You can't even buy a Happy Meal with that.
And this is like basically my tip up. I'm gonna count it right now and see if it's even my tip up. So
How long did it take you to count $8?
Right.
I made $26 tonight, which tip out was $4.
God.
So I did not make anything. I actually paid to dance tonight.
Stupid ass.
There's a reason for that.
On the bright side, I did do hair today. So this is my stack of 20s from doing hair. So I'm just gonna count it.
Dude, someone's gonna find out who you are, where you live. You know what I'm saying? These people who do these money count things, they're gonna find you and rob you. You know what I'm saying?
Just I guess what I made in a day period.
So why don't you just keep doing hair?
So I made
You can't count.
$200 today doing hair. And I lost like about $20 going to the trap. But thank you for coming with me today. I don't know if I'm going to continue going to the trap because this is very discouraging. Come with me to
Hold on. Look at this chick's BBL she has, man. What is it?
So I got my lip fillers dissolved today.
Oh,
she had lip fillers?
Didn't help.
I do have like a lot of swelling. May have some.
You see this friggin' piercing that they have in their lip here? Look at this ugly tattoo, guys.
What is that?
What was she thinking?
It's only been like about an hour. I've been to estheticians before that told me I didn't have any product in my lip, that it wasn't enough for me to dissolve. But I finally found people who were willing to help me, and I got them.
Ugh, look at all her tattoos are all jailhouse tattoos, man.
Wow. Look at this dress.
Why can't you wear something proper for us once?
In this struggle BBL she has. Look at this.
I am just out of this world. Like every time I look at
Trippy godmother? What? She has 171,000 followers on TikTok.
Why?
I'm so. Is there like a before she had all this bullshit put in her face and her body? What happened, man? Look at this.
What's that on her back?
This. Oh yes.
What's that
tattoo?
God,
on her
please.
back. Where?
God, please protect me. Right there.
I've gotten a lot of procedures done.
You
I've
think?
gotten 3 BBLs, breast.
She said 3 BBLs. I gotta do a whole video on this broad.
Implants, color surgery, veneers. I've gotten a lot of procedures done. I've gotten 3 BBLs, breast implants, eye color surgery, veneers. A lot of enhancements have been done. And when people try to diss me, they always say like you're insecure. But
You
that's
are.
not something that I've ever denied. And shame and
Guys, that eye color changing surgery, that's dangerous, man. They can mess your vision up for good.
embarrassment is only for people who cannot like accept themselves, who have like a lack of self-acceptance.
Why would
Since
you
I
do
was
that?
younger, I never really liked myself, and it's
we can tell.
always felt like
Really?
a punishment to just simply exist. Like I felt like life, like everything in life was put to hurt me. I was only 17, 18. Like I literally turned 18 like the day before I had surgery. I was only 18 for a few hours.
I gotta do a video on this chick. Anyways, guys, but back to the subject matter. We went on this big tangent, dude, all the way around, right? But guys, honestly, I think millennials are the biggest simps there are. But here's the thing, guys. Okay, and let's all cook here, right? Millennials are gonna be even more, I mean, less feminist than Gen Z in about 5 to 10 years.
Oh yeah.
You know why?
Red pill.
No, because they're all gonna get divorced.
Yep, they're gonna get red pilled.
It's already happening now, guys. Millennial men are 37, 38, 39, 40, and
they're gonna end up like Hammerhand and HM who is RPM if you know those two RPM.
The day of reckoning is coming.
Yeah. Let's see. Hold on, guys. Let's see. Can we do a quick 5-0 and 304s? Hold on. Let's see. Let's see. Where's a short one that we can do? Guys, we will be doing after hours, so maybe we can just do after hours and find some body cam footage, you know? But yeah, guys, it's sad though. You know? Millennial men are just cooked. They're cooked. And these are the ones that are so oh, here we go, guys. Guys, Henry Pyro, final words about guys in the chat. You know what? Here, before we go to after hours, guys, I'm gonna do a poll. All right, let's do a poll. I'll leave it open for like 3 minutes while we watch a 5-0 and 304s. Guys, about who's the biggest simps? Okay, who has the biggest simps? Hold on. Who are the Gen X, millennials, if I can spell, millennials, Gen Z. Okay, guys, answer the poll. Hit the like button, guys. Hit the join button. Hit the super chat button, guys. Let's see. So, guys, make sure to start voting. And, guys, look at this. Let's switch gears here, guys. Let's switch gears. Where are we?
That's the sound of the police.
Wow, everybody pick the millennials.
I'll leave it open for a little while, guys. Look at this. She brought her 4-year-old to the bar.
Bringing a 4-year-old to a bar. So you don't see any issue with bringing a 4-year-old to a bar?
I
do you understand I'll call DCF on you and they'll come and do a whole investigation? We've gotten multiple calls about this situation saying that your daughter's lifting her dress and she's not wearing any undergarments. You're kind of like putting me in a real tough spot here.
Watch this reckless mom take her 4-year-old daughter to a bar and nearly drop her right in front of the officer.
I'm the one that called. It's this woman over there on the corner. We're just worried about the child. I don't know if her mom is done or what. We did not serve her sandwich, but she just showed up about 30 minutes ago, and the poor kid was walking around with no underwear, no shoes, crying, wanting to go home. I had customers come up to tell me that the mom was running into them, falling over.
All right. So, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, so I took care of it. If you want to leave me your card, if I have any other issues.
I just got to talk to her real quick.
Okay.
If you don't mind. What's your name?
Jennifer.
What's your name? What is it? What's her name?
Madeline.
M-A.
a niece.
You're 4? 4? Is there any reason you have a 4-year-old at a bar?
No.
Hello.
Strange.
There is no reason.
No.
You're muted, AJ.
Can we go
Sorry, guys.
You're muted.
outside and talk, please?
Yes.
All right, awesome. Come on, Miss Madeline. No, bring her. Bring her. Bring her.
Razor says, "Is that a human?"
So is this your daughter?
Yes.
Okay. So you don't see any issue with bringing a 4-year-old to a bar?
I
Do you understand I'll call DCF on you and they'll come and do a whole investigation? That's a problem.
Yes.
Okay? All right.
She doesn't
So
care.
we've gotten multiple calls about this situation saying that your daughter's lifting her dress and she's not wearing any undergarments. And if it's an issue inside, I don't know. Hold on. Charlie 6. We're outside now. We're out by the outside bar. I'm getting like they're saying that they think you're under the influence. You have a 4-year-old at a bar. That's no issue in your mind.
I mean,
Come on, brain, work.
It's not like you're sitting at a dining table. You're literally sitting at a bar with a 4-year-old.
Agreed.
Okay, I have a 2-year-old, and there's no way in the heck I would ever do that. Ever.
Understood.
Are you okay? Yeah, you just want to go home? Okay. You're kind of like putting me in a real tough spot here. Will you just hang out with my partner here?
Understood.
That's your daughter?
Yeah.
She seems truly mystified.
Don't be scared. My name is Officer Hannah. What's your name?
Well, guys, looks like millennials got it right. 58%. 58%. So sad, dude.
Everything's gonna be okay, all right?
Bro,
You're okay, sweetie. Everything's okay.
this woman look like she's
told her this was
30, 40. Why does she look so old?
Yeah.
This chick here?
Yes.
Having
Alcoholism?
that little of a kid.
Alcoholism? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not
Not
okay
a word.
spot to take my daughter.
It's okay. Have you been drinking today, ma'am? Hi, Mama. How old are you?
She just doesn't answer.
4? You're 4? Okay. It's okay. You're almost gonna go home, okay? What's your name?
Maybe not.
Madeline? Oh, that's a nice name, Madeline. I like your dress. It's unicorns, right? Yeah? Everything's okay, all right?
So here's the keys,
Is it
Mom.
okay for her to go home? Just wait 1 second now. When we're done, then we'll tell you what's gonna happen.
Oh, good God.
Yeah.
Look at that. You see that?
Yep. Almost fell
Maybe
over.
on the stairs, if she can sit down on the stairs. We just don't want you to fall with your daughter in your hands. Yeah.
Drunk as a skunk.
Madeline.
Intoxicated. It's not illegal to be intoxicated. No.
Nah. Let's get ahead to when they arrest her ass.
They live close?
Don't make this more complicated.
I got it. What, is Daddy at home?
Oh, my daddy's sick.
Okay. Does Daddy
Sick of
live
your-
with you?
sick of mommy.
She probably poisoned him.
Sick of
My
mommy.
daddy lives far away.
That's not surprising.
Okay.
Does she have a Superman, Flash, Batman tattoo? Look at that.
Good God.
Look at that. Superman, Flash, Batman, and then what is that? That's Sonic the Hedgehog?
All right. Well, we're going to go back to mommy, okay?
What is that?
Like,
What is this? This is you can't tell.
Bro, it's like you just can't leave most of these women by themselves because they would just do stupid stuff like this.
Okay, come on. I'm gonna carry you, okay? All right, let's go see the lights. Okay, hold on.
All right, I'm gonna bring you over to my car, and I'll let you make phone
Oh,
calls.
they already cuffed her.
Wow, we missed it.
Dumbass.
Calls there, okay? But it has to be somebody you choose. Obviously, we can't just leave with somebody, and if you can't find anybody, we got to call DCF. They're gonna come get it.
All
Okay?
right.
So we're gonna go down the stairs. Be careful. After let's go down this one.
High five. Yeah, good job. Good job. You're such a good girl, you know? That'll stick me, poke me, hurt me, anything?
What a mess.
All right, I'm gonna put my hands underneath your bra, okay? All right.
Which one's your car? So I can make sure it's locked.
In the parking lot.
Okay. So I'm gonna take you out of handcuffs. All right. And you can make your phone calls to whoever you need to make.
She was begging her mom to go home. Her mom seemed intoxicated, totally out of it.
When you say that, how did she appear? Why do you think she was
Glossy
intoxicated?
eyes, just smiling at me.
Okay.
I was trying to talk to her. She didn't really have a reaction.
Was she reacting to her daughter?
No,
having a
not at
meltdown?
all. Not at all. That's why then we started to think maybe she's not her mom. Like,
Right.
this is weird.
Okay.
So then I asked her, "Are you this girl's mom?" And she said yes. Like, no, not even like, "How dare you ask me?" Like,
Right.
No
No,
reaction.
like over
Exactly.
drink, but okay. But she didn't get any beer from anybody else.
All right, you guys. I'm gonna shut this bad boy down, guys. We're gonna do after hours in Discord, guys. So when this live is over, guys, go to Discord, hit the after hours voice channel. And all right, you guys, I'm out of here. Henry Pyro, thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Bye, guys.
Yes,
You too, buddy. Take care.
Yeah.